Hey everyone, how are we all doing today? I hope we've had a wonderful week, winding down to the end of the week. Let's be honest, getting a bit excited for Pokemon. You know what else I forgot to do? I already forgot to do something. Running around like a headless chook, doing all that kind of stuff. One last light for the road, eh? There we go. I hope we're all doing well. I hope we've all had a great week, winding down to the end of the week. Today we are doing a viewer request from Spartan. We are making focaccia. Need I say more? I don't think I do. We're just going to be making bread today. So we're going to be making 2 lots today. I'm going to be making just a plain garlic and herb focaccia, and then I'm going to be doing one that has olives on top. So yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there that are indecisive and not so keen on olives. So I thought, you know what, we'll make one that's a little bit more friendly towards the non-olive lovers out there. So now you tell us how we doing. I'm just going to be lurking in silence, but I will chat when I can. Don't push to try and chat. If you're unable to chat and you do want to chat, just, it's all good. The lurk is more than appreciated. The lurk is definitely more than appreciated. I've got cake crumbs. So what I'll also point out too is we might be doing a sneaky little cake decorating in between as well. Because there's going to be a lot of waiting for doughs to rise and get to certain volumes and stuff, there's going to be a lot of downtime. And I do have a commission for a cake that needs to be done for this afternoon, tonight. So all I need to do is just finish icing that, and then after stream probably finish it off even more so. But if I've got a bit of time today, I might as well get the icing on the outside done while I wait for stuff to bake or prove. So there might be a little bit of sneaky cake decorating in there as well. So what are we going to need for our focaccias today? That is the question we need to ask. You know what I actually have not done, and I'm going to sneakily do real quick, is I'm going to use this to turn that off. I'll take a quick photo of something. Take a quick photo of something, post on the Discord, because yeah, today's recipe is going to be on the Discord. Did you really just... Okay, it's gonna be like that. Later, please. Yeah, I want it to save like that. Silly thing. Okay, so let me get that on the Discord real quick before I start today. Because exclamation recipe will take you to a link to the Discord, and that's where the recipe shall be today. So recipes, post, boop, done. I say done, but there we go. Thank you. Boopity boop boop boop, and that gets connected too. Also found out silly reasons why my my camera would turn off every time the source was closed. Turns out there's a little toggle in the settings that says deactivate when this is not visible. Makes a lot of sense. So now the camera is working perfectly to an extent. I would say it's more frame rate. It's more my nitpicky, but it's like no, could be a little bit better. But it's still good. I still think this is going to be a better addition to having this one here. You know what I mean? Okay, so we are going to be addressing the Bible again. I've started to write down things in here that need to be written into the ingredients list, and I plan to do so every time that we create something from the Bible. So I've griped about this all the time, and we've had a big old kerfuffle at a kitchen battle because of it. They don't list water in the ingredients. They don't list water in the ingredients. So whenever I start doing a recipe from this again, I'm going to find out if there is water in there. I'm going to put it in the list of ingredients for future reference to make things a little bit easier. So what are we going to need for today for the focaccias? We are going to need 2 teaspoons of dried yeast. We're going to need 1 teaspoon of caster sugar, superfine sugar. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 405 grams, 14 1/4 ounces, or 3 1/4 cups of strong white flour. I would usually go with all-purpose flour for this. But today I thought, you know what, I'm gonna splash out a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit special, a little bit extra today. So I've got baker's flour, which is, in my mind, should be strong flour. And the packet said it's perfect for focaccias, so sweet. We're going to need a tablespoon of full cream milk powder. This is the one I'm not too sure about. So why do we need milk powder in this? But regardless, we're going to need 250 ml or 9 fluid ounces, 1 cup of warm water. Says that in the very start of the recipe, but we've got that in there now. And for the toppings, we are going to need a tablespoon of olives, 1 to 2 garlic cloves crushed, black olives, rosemary sprigs or leaves, a teaspoon of dried oregano, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of coarse sea salt. So, that's what we're going to need today. We're also going to need like deep dish pans and stuff, but yeah. I probably should... You know what? Instead of hiding the Bible away, we'll put it over here. Yeah. Just try and make sure not to splash too much, and I mean, I could also move that there, and because that's going to be sort of pointing to there for a bit too, and I guess that's okay. We can move the mouse. But I hope we're all had a good week. I know my weeks have been a bit so-so, but I mean, it is what it is. But, yes. So what we need, so it says to lightly grease a pan. What we're going to do is we're just going to line it with paper. We're not going to worry about greasing the pan. Because the last thing I want to do is try and grease my pan and have it stick. So I'm going to be using... I actually do have a deep dish. Yep. I'll use this for one of them. But I might be using just these ones here. Just basic, everyday run-of-the-mill pans. Because when I was doing my apprenticeship, we would make focaccias. Now, our focaccias were round, so we would have like round, flat focaccias that we would put a garlic, olive oil, and rosemary brush over the top. So it's going to be a little bit different to what we're doing today. Is going to be a little bit different to that. Obviously, it says to make just a big slab loaf. Also, the method of doing it was a little bit different to what I've read here. So I remember ours was more of a timed dough. So we would make it, let it sit in the tub, and we'd get on to the next day. So we tip it out the next day, sort of shape it to the size we want, put it on the tray, put it in the prover, prove it up, bake it off, all that kind of stuff. And hey, Ma, how are we doing today? I hope we're doing well today. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a very chilled and relaxed morning this morning. But so what we're going to need to do, we need to put the yeast, sugar, and the water in a small bowl, and then So my thought is, I'm going to start making one dough. So make one dough, get that going. Yeah, we still I was going to say we still got that going. Yeah, we still got that. I should actually, now that I think about that, I should have that fade out. But hang on. Yeah, because like I said, well, here's the thought process. Do we want to make 2 full doughs, or we do want to make one dough split in half and then have half? That's definitely the question. What am I going to do with 2 full loaves? That's definitely a good question there. What are our thoughts? I mean, I can't really take it to dinner tonight because, well, we're gonna have some other tasty foods at dinner, so I don't want to be like, I brought cake and a loaf of bread. So, I could freeze one, but why? I don't like frozen bread. In all honesty, I probably should stick to the one recipe and just split that in half, to be honest, because then we're also going to have a bit more, like it's going to prove a bit faster, it's going to bake a bit faster, all that kind of stuff. But then, you know, having 2 loaves, I could always drop one round. I mean, there's always gifting it to other people as well. Exactly. Well, you know what, for the sake of we'll make 2. like I was planning on doing. So we'll start one of the doughs up, get the flour ready for that dough. I don't know, I've got enough. Yeah, I've got lots of bowls now. When I was buying, I was buying something for last week's stream, and I got the Pyrex. I got a second Pyrex pouring jug, and while I was out, it's like, oh, cool, small bowl. So I got a small bowl now, which is good. But then after we mix the doughs, I'll put them into each of the big bowls. Also, I've been warming my oven up, not to the 180 degrees or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It should be backed off as. I just had it on the lowest temperature, and I'm actually going to turn that off now because we're going to turn this little makeshift prover soon. So it's probably sitting at about 100, 120 degrees now. So we're just going to let that sort of slowly get back to not baking levels. And then when we form it and get into the shape we want, I'll get the kettle, or reboil the kettle, I actually boiled it before stream. Put that into a baking dish, put that into the bottom so it's nice, gets nice and steamy in there, and we're going to make a makeshift prover out of our oven to begin with. We've done it once before, and we're going to sneeze coming along. Is that it? I think that's it. Okay. Excuse me. What's that? Okay. So 250 ml for the first one of warm water, and the yeast. Was this the? Oh, so I got 2 packets. Yeah, I got 2 packets because I always worry when I buy fresh or more yeast because well, yeah, I don't know if it's still good or bad or if it's, you know, died on me. I always buy an extra one just in case, which obviously means I've got a lot of yeast sitting around the house that I need to use up. So this is actually a very good suggestion. Super good suggestion to make me use up my yeast. I should use more of my yeast. One of the things I have been thinking about, and it's probably going to happen probably at the end of the year. I'm going to have a stream where it's just going to be focusing on my pantry. So I've got a lot of ingredients that I haven't. When I say haven't used, it's like I've stockpiled all these ingredients. I need to use them somehow, so why don't we just have a stream where I go through the ingredients and go, what can we make out of this? Let's make this today. Let's make that today. Just sort of clear out my cupboard stream. Okay, so it's getting a little bit. There we go. 2. Now, I might consider. I know it says 405 grams of flour. When the time comes, I might actually put a little bit more in, just because I find sometimes that the recipe for this makes a very wet and slack dough. So that again, that could just be all-purpose flour there, but very clever idea. There's always something that lives in the pantry for many years unused. Yes. Well, it's more so because I've been doing. There's teaspoons, spine, yeast. Yeah, so it's just teaspoons we need. It's more so like I buy a bunch of ingredients for streams. So one thing I know I've got is nutritional yeast. So we use nutritional yeast at the start of the year, and I just haven't had anything to use it for besides that. And it's like, you know what? Why don't we find a recipe? Because the other hard thing too is going to be, it might be a 2-parter. Because that's another thing too. It might be a 2-parter. So, now I've got some good thoughts going. So what we could do there is, to have one. Maybe do it like start on the Thursday arvo. So I'm sitting there going through my cupboard, and we get a list of stuff that we can make, and we make some stuff on the day. And then the next day, or later that day, I'll go out, buy the ingredients I need for said. Oh, is that going to tie? I have to think about it. I'm sure there's like late night shops and stuff. The last thing I want to do is, nutritional yeast. What do I need? I need pumpkin. I need this. I need that. I need guava. And it's like, I can't get guava now. Like, dry age, steak it in. Yeah. Dry age, steak in it. Dry age, steak in it. It comes out amazing, apparently. So you're saying that's something I never thought of? Dry aging steak in nutritional yeast. Is that what you're saying? That's an interesting concept. So let me. No. Okay. You might have to post the a thing in the Discord for the process or what goes on in dry aging steak in nutritional yeast, because it's not like you're sort of making jerky out of it, are you? Or so what I'm doing here is I'm just giving the yeast mixture a bit of a warm bath, in a sense, just to activate the process a little quicker, you know. So I'm not sort of sitting here, it's like, you know, it's sort of warm in here, but this is going to really get the no jerky. I watch YouTube. I watch a YouTuber that does all sorts of experiments, like this. Done like this works, others fail. Okay. Yeah, well, as I said, you try find and post it. That you must do. That you must do, because that sounds like a very interesting concept. Super interesting concept. Okay, so now in the meantime, what we're going to do is, because what it says on the recipe sheet, so you put the yeast, the sugar, and the water into a bowl, stir well, leave it in a warm place for 10 minutes or until bubbles appear on the surface, and it has a big spiel about the mixture should be frothy and slightly increased in volume. If your yeast doesn't foam, it is dead. So you'll have to discard it, start again, and then I'm going to add the oil, apparently. Okay. See, now here's the thing. It says sift 375 grams of the flour and the powdered milk and the salt. And then we got salt as well. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm actually going to start doctoring this right now. There's salt that needs to go in this as well. So let me, Titch. Camera on.
Activating binge camera.
So here's the list of ingredients, and then right down here somewhere, I'm not sure if you can see it. So the flour, the milk powder, half a teaspoon of salt. Put the teaspoon of salt in the top here, so I know to level out the teaspoon of salt. I need to find who wrote this book and tell them that they are idiots. So it's half a teaspoon of salt as well. Thank you. I swear. Once I'm done with this Bible, I'm going to go through all of these. That's the other thing I would have liked to have done as well. If a lot of this stuff wasn't so time consuming, much like, you know, everything's like bread or, you know, refrigerate overnight or all that kind of stuff. I'd like to go from start to finish of this book, and then sort of write down, again, like I've done here, turn my copy of the Baking Bible into the Half-Blood Prince's version. Like, no. You don't want to mix it like that. You want to mix it counterclockwise instead of clockwise. just silly things like that. Have one that's really unique to me. And then once I'm old and grey, I'll pass it down to the next generation. Okay, I did see... yeah, I did. I did see I had a scoop lying around. Well, when I say it's a scoop, it's another measuring cup. So apparently we're just going to be sieving 375 grams of the flour first off. Which again, I'm still surprised. Like, obviously the other lot is to be used for on the surface. Let's read the rest of the recipe. So sieve 375 grams of the flour, or 13 ounces, 3 cups of the flour, the milk powder, and half a teaspoon of salt into a large bowl. Make a well in the center. Add the yeast mixture, beat with a wooden spoon. The mixture is combined. We're going to be using the hook on the dough for a little bit, and then we're going to knead the rest of it by hand. Turn it to the bent. Knead for 10 minutes or until the dough is smooth and elastic. Place the dough in a large, lightly oiled bowl. Brush the surface of the dough with oil, cover with plastic or a damp tea towel. Leave in a warm place for 1 hour or until well risen. So that's where I'm probably going to... Obviously I'm going to let it sit and do its thing, but from all the doughs that I've been making through work at the moment, I don't like the fact that it says or until well risen. So hear me out on this thought process right here. So we mix the dough, we get it to the proper form, then we're allowing it to rise up, right? So all the yeast is eating the sugar and is creating the gases, rises nice and well. Then it's telling us to punch that down and then let it rise again. Now my thing is, I think it's going to get exhausted on that second turn because it's already eaten up all the sugars and stuff and risen as much as it could. Well, not as much as it could, but it has risen up nice on the first run. Where's the rest of the sugar for it to do it again? So that's why my thought is, I could do one by the book and then one not by the book and do just a little bit of a trial and error, which is what we will do today. I'll do it the way that I think it should be done, and I'll do one by the book. I think that's the way it should be. See, now this is one thing I don't understand. Like, I'm not seeing the extra 200, the extra 30 grams of flour in here. Like, there's no, like, add extra flour. It's weird. It's really weird. Yeah, weigh out 405 grams of baker's flour, but only use 375 grams of it. Okay. Never mind. So now I really want to... Oh, come on. Now that I use my phone as the... now I use my phone as the camera. I can't sort of go... I'm just going to work out what... So now I'm just trying to think about it. How much... That's a lot. That's... Oh... See... So now my work brain is kicking into gear. It's like, what's the percentage of water that we're using today? Because when it comes to baking, we use a lot of percentages, and it can get a little bit confusing at times. Like, so I'm pretty sure the basic formula, like, I use premixes at work at the moment, but the basic formula for making bread is you want to have, for white flour, I think it's if you're using fresh yeast, you go 3% yeast, 1% salt, 2% improver, 1% something else, and then it's usually around 50 to 55% water. The recipe that we've got here is calling for a little... So hang on. 250 mil. If we're using 500 grams of flour, that would be 50%. But we're using 375, so that's almost like 60% water, if I'm not mistaken. This is just like, uneducated rough math right here. That sort of seems to me like it's nearly 60%. So it makes me want to weigh up more flour. Like, actually do the 405 to make sure that that is closer to the ballpark. Because that would make it about 58% if we go with the... This is going to be the one... No. This one here is going to be by the book, so I'm going to do this completely by the book, and I'm going to... So yeah, I'm gonna do this one completely by the book, put it in the thing, let it rise, punch it down, do all that stuff. The second dough, I'm gonna do the way that I think it should be done. That's how we're gonna run today. Sorry for the rants, but when you do this for a living and you see stuff like this, it's like, wait a minute. Although I've not actually been formally or properly taught how to do bread, When you've been doing it for, 7 odd years, you sort of pick things up, you learn along the way, right? Open up this milk powder. So the milk powder was 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of milk powder. Yup. And then it was half a teaspoon. So this my that's a quarter teaspoon, and that's a half a teaspoon. Where's my salt? There's my salt. I got plenty. Half a teaspoon of salt. Yup. And then we're just gonna sieve that. Turn off, please. There we go. So. Let's get the camera on what I'm actually doing here at the moment, instead of on a bowl that's got nothing going on. Yeah, so just sieve all of this. Where is the extra 30 grams? Tell me. I need to know where it is. I don't want to squish all of the crud into that, because there's a reason why it's clumped up and crudded up. And that's going to go into the bowl. Okay. So how is our yeast concoction going? It is frothing up pretty nice. Where's my olive oil too? How much olive oil was it? 2 tablespoons. So we're gonna put that into that mix there. I mean, I could. Yeah, I could just add it to the dough, to be honest. But no, we're following the Bible first. We're gonna follow the Bible first, and then we're gonna be heretics and say no. Let's do this again. Oh, I didn't come to this stream for religious connotations. Let me. No. Put this one in the big bowl, and then I'll use that bowl again. But you know what? No. I didn't need to sieve it into this one. I could have just sieved it straight into the mixing bowl. Oh, my place is all over the head. Oh, my place is all over the head at the moment. So yes. But, to make the topping, brush the combined olive oil and garlic over the surface. Okay, so where's our recipe for making the thing? To make the topping, brush the combined olive oil and garlic over the surface of the dough, topped with the olives and roasted sprigs, and sprinkle with the oregano and salt. Okay. Morning, Thorn. How we doing? It's like, wait a minute. I know that name. How we doing today, Thorn? That is super focused on the hook. I love it. Pitch. Zoom in.
Zooming in.
Super focused on that hook. Have I got that on auto? I should have that warm fluorescent. It's very... Waiting for your car at Mazda? Aw, man. Routine maintenance. Pitch. Zoom out.
Zooming out.
You're not gonna flash up the. Is it just a? Probably ran over. Oh no, not another flat. Ah, damn. You're constantly getting flats. We might need to. We should probably teach you to use punch repair kits. But or no, I remember that's right. No, hang on. I remember you said your car had It had sensors for even the tire pressures. Like, you got a trick car. You got a trick car. I'll tell you that. Might save time. And a little bit of money too. No, you're still under warranty, aren't you? Still under warranty. Keep forgetting, I'm the one with the somewhat older car, and I just didn't go back to Subaru and said, "Oh yeah, can you fix my car?" I've only been to Subaru once, and that was to get my timing belts changed, because apparently that's the whole front of the car apart to get the timing belts done. And me and Dad both turned around and said, no, let's get somebody else to do this." As we can somewhat see, our mix has gone all frothy and foamy. So the yeast is alive. All good. The sensor's annoying. I would never notice otherwise. Activated. Activated? Oh wow, that's very blue. Probably should just do that to turn on to auto. That looks a bit better. White balance. Tell you what. Well, yeah, that is true, Ma. That is true. It has been activated, but it is alive. It is alive. It is alive! So we're just going to throw the oil straight into the mix. I see. Perfect timing. Perfect timing indeed. I don't even go back. I want to do the full back thing, but I'd probably fall over. But how are we doing today, Kev? I don't like the fact that Chatterino isn't pulling up those things again. But it is what it is. It's my favorite redeem. I think it's a lot of people's favorite redeems, to be honest. How many? It's 2 tablespoons of olive oil. One olive oil. Tablespoons? Tablespoons. 2 tablespoons. There we go. Oh. Doing well, just lost at... I'm just lost at what to do today. Oh, I hate that. I hate that feeling so much. Just sort of sitting there, it's just like... I want to say, oh, I'll rate you one better in a sense, but it's not a competition, to be honest. It really isn't a competition. The one thing I hate the most is when you know you've got something to do, but you just keep putting it off. It's like, I should be doing this, but I'm just really tired and want to just sit and relax. But I should do it. Where do I start on doing it? Where do I begin? But it's not even a... I wouldn't say it's even a... for me, it's not even like deadline stuff. It's not stuff where it's like, I need to have this done by a certain time. Like, it needs to be done right now. It's just more of a, I should do this. This would be something I need to do for, stream assets or, doing chores around the house or something like that. And it's just like, where do I start? Where do I begin? Putting stuff off, that's me and my packing. I have a deadline soon, though. See, when it comes to deadlines, so I'm sure there's a lot of people in chat that's sort of the same as well. You get more motivated closer to the deadline. It's like, yeah, let's go. Again, I've had the same thing when it's come to streams as well. Like, I'm about to do a stream for tomorrow, and I'm doing it with somebody else, and it's like, oh, we're about to start in like 3 hours. But you know what I will do? You know what's going to be awesome? If I make a little asset for the stream or for Twitter, and then I sit down, I get that cracked out in like half an hour or 45 minutes. It's like, why couldn't I do that at the start of the week when I had time? Then I could have just relaxed before. Yeah. Last minute motivation, exactly. Yeah, that one there's last minute motivation, to be honest. But yeah, more the deadlines when it's like you have to make something before a certain time. Yeah, that's the worst. I haven't had that feeling in a very long time. But I'm sure I've had it before, like high school or something. I would almost say TAFE as well. I would say TAFE as well. I had that, or trade school. Like I'd have the instructor come by at a certain time. It's like you have to have all this stuff in your module done. It's like, oh crap, I've done nothing. So I'm either doing it on my breaks at work or I'm doing it after work, and yeah. I was looking around for photos of myself younger because apparently I haven't done it yet, and I keep on promising that I will, but I do need to put a photo in the Discord of when I was in high school just to show how anime my hair was. Yeah, I was just thinking about it. It's like, oh yeah, there's a photo that Mum took of, funny ha-has, TC and his dad falling asleep on chairs next to each other. And yeah, I realised I had a big pile of TAFE books next to me. It's like, yeah, I would rather be sleeping than doing TAFE work. Very fitting, I would say. But is there anything that you would like to do, Kev? Like, is there... it's sort of hard. It's a hard thing to ask, in a sense. Like, is there a project that you want to start doing? If it's not too late, is there going for a quick walk be something that's viable, or maybe clearing out a cupboard or clearing out a room? Because that's something I've needed motivation for a while. My spare bedroom is becoming an absolute bomb site, and I need to go through there and clear it up and organize it again. So yeah. Okay. Honestly, I have a feeling it might be the flour that I'm using that's causing it to be silly and goofy. Still might throw a little bit more flour. Because pretty much what I'm doing here is, yeah, using the bowl to knead it a bit quicker. Well, hang on. Well, I have come back from a walk recently, but I guess just kind of stagnant since I'm just vibing on my own. Yeah. Now, I want to say that that's not too bad of a feeling to have. Like, if you don't have any prior commitments, or you just, yeah, nothing's looming over your head like you need this done, you need to get this paper done, you need to have this ready for work, and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually going to. Is this the one I want? I was gonna say I noticed that was like bugging out for the zoom. It's like, whoa, what am I zooming in? I'm gonna try draw that. That's a good thing to get onto. That's definitely a good thing to get onto. I've been meaning to sort of get back into. Once I get back into drawing, I want to get the thought process of what Titch's body would look like, and I want to get that down on paper before I start taking that to artists and say, hey, can you help me out with this? So, because sure, I could just go to him and say, I want him to look like this, but I want to have a rough idea for myself first. And plus, I just want to get back into drawing. Drawing's fun. Also, nice ambience with the hip hop theme. It's Game Chops, so it's all like lo-fi hip hop video game music. Nothing immediate. My plans are like in 8 months or so. Oh, 8 months, buddy, you're letting it slide. Ooh. 8 months, I'd be. Oh, I'm stressing. One was from Deltarune. Never actually played Deltarune. I've seen a little bit of gameplay of Deltarune, but the other thing too was I fell asleep while they were playing it. I think they were doing a speed run as well. yeah, he's just doing a speed run, and it's like, I don't mind his content, and I'll sit down. It's goofy. It's supposed to be a lot different from what the original Undertale was, wasn't it? So instead of having that's something I probably should play as well. I've never played Undertale, but I have watched that much content on Undertale that I don't need. I don't want to say I don't need to play it, but it's just that everything, like all the spoilery bits, have been spoiled for me. So I know that this is going to happen. I know that if I do this, this will happen. So, like, well, what's the point in playing it? Like, I've already experienced it secondhand, in a sense. Watched a full playthrough when it somewhat was in its hype. So, it's a different feel, while feeling similar in a way. I think it's the art style that makes it feel similar. Like, you've got the full color 8-bit. I'm pretty sure it's 8-bit. It's not 16. Is it 16? It's not 32. It's definitely not 32. 32 is Super Nintendo graphics, and that is definitely more 16 at the max. I would say 16 at the max. Yeah, so it's got that 16. Can you focus? What if I go manual? No, I don't want that. There we go. Focus. Focus, son. Focus. Alright, so let's get a bit of kneading happening here. Knead this kneady dough. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Don't want to put too much flour down on the bench. Sounds like it's EGA or VGA graphics. I want to say it's not Atari. Like Atari's 8-bit. Atari is just sin for the eyes. I know it's what they had at the time, but when you look at it now, it's like, oh wow. Ew. Yeah, it's not that. It's more like Super Nintendo graphics. Oh, not Super. I just said it's not Super. NES. It's more NES graphics. Well, for Focaccia 2. No, Focaccia. Oi! How we doing, Tech? And MT? How we doing well? So let's see how our first dough is doing. It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So I wanted to make sure I don't get this too floured up. I don't want it too stiff, but it's proving me wrong each time. Honestly, I'm thinking I need to trust the recipe a bit more. I think in the past I've been using all-purpose flour for this, and because the all-purpose flour isn't as I want to say, again, it's not as strong. Like, obviously baker's flour and strong white flour has more like gluten structure in it, which makes it stiff. Like, well, yeah, it makes it stiffer. But yeah, it's probably just the flour. The flour was probably what was making things a little bit different in the past. But CGA was 4 colors, CMYK. EGA was 16 colors. VGA is 256. I don't know the levels after, except the next one was called VGA, Super VGA. Headed to Newfoundland to do a show. Oh, nice.
Thathiatratech has requested you hydrate.
Now that I shall do. How's my day going? Sort of chill. I want to say it's going chill. I don't know how to say it. Like, it's been chill but semi-stressful as well. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say I've had like a blah morning. Like, ugh. But I sort of have. Like, it's Sarah. There's my nerdiness coming out. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. definitely makes more sense. So I think it's EGA. I think it's EGA style graphics because VGA definitely sounds not 64, Super Nintendo. Like Super Nintendo had very clean pixel art, and Deltarune has clean pixel art, but it's not as vibrant. I think it's more contrasty. I'm not sure. Water. Wawa. Cheers, Tech. Your favorite Aussie. To an extent, I know I should believe you, but I feel like there's other Aussies out there that might, like, I don't know. So, what about Hemsworth? I mean, he's pretty cool. Just popping in for a sec. Not a problem. Okay, so I'm going to say that's all done and dusted. So what we're going to do here is we're going to plop this into a lightly olive oiled thing. Focaccia! Yes, it is, Danny. But how are you doing, Sarah? First of all, how are you doing, Sarah? How are you doing, Danny? They haven't been Osborne yet. I feel like I've just missed a joke there. I feel like I've just missed a joke there. Lots of incoming people, yes. Time zones are a little bit of a silly thing. They are. But whenever you're available to come in, that's the time that I want you to come in. I thought, yeah, Osborne, yeah. But it's like, which Osborne are we talking about? Are we talking about like Ozzy Osbourne? Like I was thinking it was to do with the Osborne part, but it's like, I think my mind is just like, yeah, Ozzy Osbourne, but who's Osborne? Norman Osborne? I know. I'm just I'm just not with it. Where did I put my cling wrap over here? Because we are going to cling wrap this one. So this one here is going to be the Green Goblin, you say? I'm a bit of a scientist myself. I'm sorry that I missed your joke, Kev. I'm just like, damn it. Now I look like the fool. But, okay, so I'm a bit of a goblin myself. Yeah, so we're going to put this into another warm bath, just to help get it to kick into gear. Hopefully I can get both of them in, to be honest. Because, this is the problem I hate. My hot water service is all the way over there, and the tap I need is here, so the transfer of hot... First world problems, eh? First world problems. What I will do quickly is give this a rinse, because we're going to make another dough out of this. Perfecto mundo. That into there. So, who's hyped for Pokemon? Before we answer that question as well, this is more so for Kev and him getting into doing a bit of drawing today. What were you thinking about drawing? Were you just going to do some? When I say do some drills, like do like a just like I don't want to say silhouettes because that's not trying to think. Well, I mean, yes, but you need to walk before you need to crawl before you can run. Okay, you need to crawl before you can run. So, like, start with one thing and then sort of go from there. Like, you can get to the booba later. You need to be able to draw the frame first. Like, anybody can draw a circle, then a circle, then a circle, and doing a sketch at the moment. Nice. Yeah, need to start off small. Need to start off small and then work our way up to the promised promised land. So what I will do is I'm going to grab one of these because, like I said, we're going to make 2 doughs today. We're going to do one the way that it says. So we're going to let that prove up nice and big. Punch it down, shape it, put it into our makeshift prover, which we might actually... How warm are you at the moment? I'm actually going to fire you back up again. Come on. There we go. Fire that back up again, just so we can keep it at a nice temperature. Because it's usually about... So optimal proving temperatures and humidity is 85% humidity, 30 degrees Celsius. That's what's going to get your bread to activate the fastest and grow as fastest. Double the fun. Well, we're going to do one with olives and one without olives. So that's sort of my trade away from it all. But for the most part, like, yeah, we're going to do one by the Bible, and then we're going to be the heretic. Double the dough. We need 250 of warm water. A little bit more. There we go. How warm are you? Yeah, pretty warm. Where's my bowl over here? The warm water goes into there. We got yeast again. Was this the one I used? Yes. Well, I want to make sure I don't open the new one because I'm going to be very upset if I open the new one. That's going to be for the salt later. This is tablespoon, because I need... No, teaspoon. It's a teaspoon. 2 teaspoons of dried yeast. Or 1. 2. I'm pretty sure I've already worked out the percentages for the doughs in this book. And it usually works out to be the right percentage, which is about 1.3, 1.5% yeast. Because, fun fact... the percentage of yeast required for a dough changes whether you're using fresh yeast or dried yeast. So you use less yeast for dried and more for fresh or compressed. I think it's roughly about double, to be honest. It's been a while since I've had to calculate dried yeast at work because we use compressed and fresh. And then not only that, the water percentage changes as well. So, I think it's a 3% difference as well. So, instead of being... that's a 3 or 2%. So, a 3 or 2% difference. So, instead of using 55% water for white dough, you would use 57%. Never made bread yourself, always wanted to? I would say, like, I really want to say it's definitely not that hard. Pretty much when I'm coming out here with all these percentages and stuff, like, that's advanced. Like, what I'm talking about is advanced baking, in all honesty. Like, are the results the same? Yes, the results are exactly the same. So, pretty much, like I've been talking about, I must run. Good luck with the bread, Chefry. Look forward to the pics. Well, thank you for sticking by for as long as you did. Hopefully they do turn out alright, because, yeah, we're going to do one heretic style and one legit, so... But thank you so much for sticking by for as long as you did. I hope you have fun in your endeavours, and I hope to talk to you soon. There might be some other pics in the Discord later today or tomorrow that to look out for as well. But yeah, like, because pretty much, like, how do I put it? So, obviously because things are more potent when they're dried, if you put more dried yeast in so if you put the same amount of percentage of dried yeast in as for compressed yeast, it's going to react faster. And I think I've said this in the past before. So if you add more yeast to a dough, it's going to eat the sugars in the flour and the added sugar as well faster than it would usually, which means that you're not going to get the right colorization, and it's going to rise too fast and exhaust faster. So you're not going to get the right amount of rise. You're not going to get the right amount of form, if you will. And then water is obviously for the structure as well. So if you've got it too slack, it's not going to be able to hold its structure, and you're going to get a real flat and sort of semi-bubbly dough. So because the compressed yeast, I think, has a little bit of water in it itself, you want to put less. You want to put less water. No. Because you have to rehydrate. That's what it is. Sorry, dummy. Because you have to rehydrate the yeast, you want to put more water in there to compensate for the hydration for the yeast. So now I actually liked the. I'm actually quite pleased with the amount of flour for water for that. Like, that actually felt like a really good dough there. So I'm going to do the same amount of what do you call it? I'm going to do the same amount of flour as it said. So instead of doing the 405, I'm going to do the 375, like it said. But yeah, making bread yourself, pretty much. If you follow the recipe that is given to you, you're going to be fine. Mixing, you just got to make sure that it mixes to a nice texture and all that kind of stuff. It's when you start to dabble in like going off recipe. So like we've got here. So we've got a set amount of yeast. We've got like everything's already worked out for us. The daunting part comes to I have baker's flour. I want to make this style of dough. How much yeast will I need per 100 grams? We'll go with a kilo because that's pretty much how I work it with. So how much yeast will I need per kilo? So all of this percentage that I'm talking about at the moment boils down to per kilo. Well, that's how I work it out because of the quantity I use as well. Tablespoon. Where's my tablespoon? It's got olive oil in it. Ew. But yeah, pretty much, like I said, the rule of thumb is usually it's 1.3 to 1.5% dried yeast to 3% dried or compressed yeast, 1 salt, 2 improver, and then yeah, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the idea is like you just don't get too daunted by the fact that there's a lot of math involved. We're just making a loaf of bread. Because then on top of that, so the yeast salt improver, sometimes you don't need him, like don't worry about improver when you're doing it at home. But yeast salts, all that kind of stuff. The water changes on type of dough you're making as well, which I'll get onto in a second because hang on. You'll probably have the answer to this. Whenever Mum makes bread in the bread maker, it doesn't crust up in the middle on top and sinks down. So that might be bread. So bread makers are a fickle beast. Mum's made bread in the bread maker as well before, and I don't want to say similar results. That one there, it doesn't crust up in the middle, so that might be baking time, temperature, but it's also probably the water content for the dough as well. Because from memory, the bread maker dough recipes are very wet. Not only that, they also use a lot less yeast as well. Because I made a dough for Mum in the bread maker. So she had her one. I'm not saying that they're bad units, alright? So don't sort of label me down as so we need half a teaspoon. Yeah, don't label me down as bread maker hater, all that kind of stuff. But where's my half teaspoon? There's my half teaspoon. But so I showed her like this is how you make it by hand. Like use a bench mixer will do that. And I grabbed the dough that I made and threw into her bread mixer, and it went gangbusters. It just went everywhere. So the bread maker recipes usually call for less yeast. But as Mama Tessie says, yeah, it does sound like it's a bit kaput. Because that's my other thing too. So it might not have proper sealage, so the air is escaping and it's not baking at one certain point. So that could be another thing too. But my usual thing is like, it's usually the dough recipe, but How much yeast does a yeastier yeast? How much does a yeastier yeast if a yeastier yeast? I'm gonna yeet that comment out of here. Damn it, Danny. Sorry it took me so long to get there. It's like, I saw that, but you got me on a rant. You got me on a rant, Talos, about... I mean, look, honestly, you got TC in his album. Like, unfortunately, like I said, this is somewhat work. Like, I can give you as much logistics as I can when it comes to bread because, again, I do this for a living, and I tend it's also at the moment I should know what I'm talking about. But as I said, I'm not actually a trade qualified baker. I'm a pastry cook, so I focus more on pastries and cakes. I've just been working as a baker because they couldn't find any bakers at a certain time, so they just said, we'll just they get yeast infection. How much yeast does a yeaster yeast if a yeaster yeast? He gets a yeast infection. It's cooked on the inside, but top is sad. So that actually might be heat. That sounds more heat distribution. So there might be a bum seal at the top, and the heat is escaping when it gets to the top, and it's not actually cooking the top. But that's probably what it sounds like. If everything else is turning out fine, so it's forming fine. It's it's not got big air holes. It's not cakey. Where's my olive oil? 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I know it says to put into the yeast mixture, but put it into the dough anyway, so I might as well just put it into here. We'll be fine. But yeah. Bit of my mad olive oil. I'm still... I've still got that sort of... Not so much rent-free in my head, but I still want to know who the chef was. It's still in my head in. The fact that we were having a chat last night about Feral TV, and I actually was able to find out and remember what the show was called. It's like, yes! But there was I'm pretty sure he was an afternoon TV chef. It was not Huey. Definitely wasn't Huey. There was another chef out there. One of the things he would always say, and people would parody him, like he would add something there. It's like, a bit of my mate this, bit of my mate this. And I think he was like either Greek or Italian, so he'd use a lot of olive oil. So it'd always be, a bit of my mate olive oil, just add a bit of my mate olive oil. And it's like, I can't remember who this guy is for the life of me, but that is just stuck in the back of my head forever. Because I'm pretty sure the parody of one of them was like, a bit of my mate tomato sauce and stuff, and he just destroy some fancy dish with tomato sauce or ketchup, if you will. But yeah, it's just like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And why can't I remember his name? I almost feel like I can remember his face, but I can't remember it. It's just annoying. Okay, so I'm pretty much just waiting for that to. It says about 10 minutes, isn't it? Yeah, about 10 minutes. I'd set a timer for it, but why? Where's my water? Here's my water. I'm not sure if you can hear that. Surprise chef. Yes! Thorn, yes! I'm pretty sure it was the surprise chef. Because the parody was the surprised chef. Buddy, you're unlocking memories. I'm pretty sure it's the surprise chef, but what was his name though? I'm gonna say thank you. At least for that. The surprise chef. Yeah, it was. I knew if I kept talking about it from time to time. Aristos. I want to be like, yes, that's it, but it's just like, I'm gonna believe you. You just Googled it. I was gonna say I shouldn't have expected less from you. for the ill forms, Thorn is the one who will, on the spot, Google something to get the answer for it straight away. No hesitation. It's like, I think it might be this. It's like, I've already Googled it. We have the technology in our hands, guys. Why are we remembering this stuff? I could be using more of my brain function on what we're doing at the moment, besides remembering crud from 20 years ago. The dough is rising, yes. I should, there. I got them sitting in the, a bath of... So what I'm doing here is just sort of... when I say kickstart the process, I'm putting it into a more suitable environment for dough. So, although it's not steamy, it's warm. So this is like a lukewarm water, probably about 50 odd degrees, maybe 40. But because it's in the sink and stuff, the temperature's rapidly dropping. But yeah, so we're just making sure that it's nice and heated. It's going to back nice and fast. If we can see with our, I've got the plastic on there. So our yeast mixture has done the same thing. So it's bubbled up and it's gone nice and big. So we're going to actually start mixing that in now. And that, yeah, Google's never. Oh, it depends on what site you go to as well. Like, I'm sure if you go to certain site, like you go, how do you cure a cold? And somebody has decided to be an absolute monster for that day. It's like, stick a tablespoon of cinnamon up your clacker. That's when Google's wrong, unless it works. But I'm too afraid to find out. But yeah, definitely more often than not. But I would say the other thing too with Thorn too, like he's got good trivia knowledge. Thorn's got good trivia knowledge. Danny, you thought me pulling out the whole what movie adaptation of the manga was released with Scarlett Johansson with the quick, oh yeah, it was this one here. You want Thorn on your team for all those sports questions. You want him on your team for all those sports questions. You had that easy. Yeah, it's because... I think it's because I know and quite honestly quite like ScarJo. And never actually read or seen Ghost in the Shell beforehand, but I knew they just plastered everywhere. It's like Scarlett Johansson in Ghost in the Shell. So that's just straight in the head. That lives rent free. I only really know her from Hunger Games series, I think. No, that's Jennifer Lawrence. Hunger Games is Jennifer Lawrence. ScarJo is Black Widow. What else was she into? Before I go, no, she wasn't in Hunger Games. No, you're completely wrong there. She might have been like a side character or something, but main character, I thought she had a role in those movies. Jennifer Lawrence was the main actor in Hunger Games, so... Which says a lot, because... Well, I don't want to say it says a lot. It's more so... Me and my nostalgia brain and my... what I used to like doing in the past... it's more so for like Disney films. Like Pixar films. So they never used to release who was in the film. It was like Disney Pixar presents Toy Story, or Finding Nemo, or all this kind of stuff. And then there was a turn of the century where they said, people aren't going to put their butts in the seats if they don't know who's in the movie. So then they started going, we have Chris Pratt as Mario. And then it's like, I don't want to know who's doing Mario voice. The fun was sitting down in the cinema and going, where do I know that voice from? Whose voice is that? That's what got me excited. Because then, if you didn't know who did the voices, and say an actor passed away, or their contract finished up, or they they had conflicting issues with the directors and stuff, they could replace them with somebody who sounds dead near exact the same to them, and nobody would know the difference. So, I don't know, that's just my gripe at the moment when it comes to, I know I shouldn't have these gripes because, they're just kids' films and stuff, but they still do it. Like, well, I didn't see the film, but DC Super Pets. Okay, why do we need to know that Kevin Hart and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson were the voice actors? We didn't need to know that. Come on. It's probably like 10-year-olds and 40-year-old super fans that are going to go see. Who cares who's in the film? Just as long as they do a good job. Turns out I'm crazy, and she was not in the Hunger Games. Thought so. I would have known if ScarJo was in Hunger Games. Okay, I would have known if ScarJo was in Hunger Games. Okay. I'm not that big of a fan. I don't know her full cinematography. Film. Okay, what's the word for that? Because in music, your lineup of music over the years, that's a discography, right? What's it for the film industry? Is it a filmography? I thought she was a side character. That's why I was very hesitant on saying no. ScarJo wasn't in there. So maybe she was, and I just wasn't paying attention. So, ooh, that dough's coming along quite nicely. It's actually working out pretty well, to be honest, because once that dough is ready to knock back and reform, we are going to have this one sit on the bench. So what we're going to do here is we're going to mix this, we're going to let it sit on the bench and rest. Beautiful. Oh, I know that. I know what's going to happen now. Hey, JST. How you doing? Well, welcome in. Hope you've been doing well. Let's see how this is doing. This one's a lot more of a stiffer dough. I think I might put a little bit of extra flour in this one. But, I think there is a character called Joanna. I think that's where I messed up. Ah, right. Getting the old characters and character names mixed up. Ah, gotcha. Give that a little bit more of a mix. It's a little bit stiff. Now, I'm sure everybody's asking, why have I got my hand rested on my mixer the whole time? Because if I don't have it mixed on there, that's sort of what it does. It sort of has a little bit of a hop and a skip and a jump, and yeah. We gotta make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Gotta make sure Kenny doesn't go anywhere. That's the last thing we want. We don't want him to fall off the bench because I've never seen it, but I've seen the aftermath of what happens when a full-blown bench mixer. So I've worked with industrial ones, obviously. Mixer flies away if you don't have your hand on it. Exactly. But I worked with industrial style ones, so I've worked with ones that stand this tall. So it's actually about that tall. So that's about 4.5 foot tall. And I've worked with ones that are about 2.5 foot. And I've seen the aftermath of a 2.5 foot bench mixer, which probably weighs about 30 odd kilos. I've seen that when that's fallen off the bench. And it is nasty. It is nasty to say the least. So, you think a small little 10 kilo mixer falling off, yeah, it'd be fine. This big. One that you're like, sometimes you need 2 people to carry. Yeah. Come here. Adam! Hello, how we doing today? Yep, we're doing well. Hang on, they wouldn't be flying away. Yeah. They wouldn't be flying away, and if they did, you know about it. Ah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, you'd definitely know if they were flying away. Just,
JSDK 1 year has requested you hydrate.
Now that I can do. Cheers, JST. That dough is actually rising up pretty good and pretty fast. Is Chompy that affectionate? I'm doing well. I'm going to admit my mindset has... I want to say my mindset has changed since this morning. Like I said, I'll admit, like I was a bit blah this morning. I was a little bit... But now I'm coming around. Obviously, because I know once we finish making this focaccia, I can flash down the street and grab Pokemon. But I can't play it because I have to finish up a cake. No, he's not. But he lets me kiss him. I thought so. Like, they're willing to receive the love and affection, but they're not willing to give the love and affection. It's a very one-sided, toxic relationship with reptiles now, isn't it? Oh, flower on my head? No, you're probably just thinking of a gap between here. Yeah, Pokemon! It is currently available. I can go down and grab it right now if I want to, but we got a stream to do. So in the past, I used to do a 10:30 start. So I used to start at 10:30. So I was able to flash down and... Definitely not flower, I guess. You love popcorn? Can you tell me your top seasonings for it? I can tell you I can tell you my top seasoning for popcorn. My top seasoning is butter. I absolutely adore butter on my popcorn. Now, other good toppings. I've heard that curry powder is actually supposed to be a fantastic topping for popcorn. Icing sugar is mid. Maltesers. Hear me out on this one. So you get your freshly popped, not butter soaked, but butter flavored popcorn, right? Maybe a bit of salt. Oh, no. So what you do? No. I just realized what you do is you cook the popcorn. So you pop the popcorn in a, I think it's like a veggie oil and butter mix. Salt the butter as well. So you put salt in there. So it's already pre-salted and pre-buttered. Once it pops, it has the popped butter flavor. Serve it up whilst it's still warm. Maltesers. You throw your Maltesers in there. You got the salty butter popcorn. You got the sweet chocolate, but also salty chocolate in there as well. It is a fantastic combo. Definitely need to try it. Cookies and cream popcorn slaps. Ooh, has Oreo pieces and chocolate drizzled on it. Ooh, okay, that actually sounds pretty good. That actually sounds pretty damn good. What's yours, Adam? What would yours be? I'm trying to think of what other ones are. There's the candied ones as well. You know those like really brightly coloured popcorn, like the pink and blue and yellow ones? Usually used them for like cake decorating and stuff. I'm not a big fan of them. Not anymore. I used to love them, but I'm not a big fan of those ones anymore. Haven't had it in so long. Should try and make some. Have a popcorn stream. White cheddar. Cheesy popcorn. I can get behind that. I always thought sweet popcorn was weird as a kid. Now I like them though. I know, right? I don't think I've ever had cheesy popcorn before. Alright, so now that we've done that, we're going to start mixing on the bench. Caramel popcorn. Whoa, caramel. For me personally, caramel's mid. Gonna try it sometime. I think I've had caramel popcorn before, but I think it's mid. I think caramel popcorn's a bit mid. But then again, I'm very basic. I like just the butter flavor. I do want to try curry though. I do want to try the curry powder one. Chocolate orange flavored popcorn. You know what I just realized? I have a packet of popcorn that is actually really good, and I probably shouldn't say like yeah, I shouldn't say that caramel popcorn is mid because I'm pretty sure this is part caramel as well. Hitch. Zoom in. Zoom in.
Zooming in.
This is sublime. This is good stuff. Okay? If you can get your hands on some Golden Gaytime popcorn, this is good stuff. Okay? If you love Gaytime ice cream, you're gonna love this popcorn. This is good popcorn. These are good stuff. This is like it's like biscuit caramel chocolate. Biscuit caramel chocolate. It's a good combo. You definitely need to get some of this. This is good stuff. Must be an Aussie brand. Of course, like A pop time is a gay time. This is progression. Titch. Zoom out.
Zooming out.
Yeah. Golden Gay Time is an Aussie ice cream treat. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And I'm very glad that the movement and the progression to change the name Gay Time to something else has been quashed several times. I don't know several times, but it's been quashed a couple of times. Like, you don't hear Gay Time over here. Nah, you don't hear Gay Time anywhere. In certain circles, should I say. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they... Talos might be able to back me up on this one. But I'm pretty sure there's been a couple of groups that's like, you have to change the name of Gay Time. You can't have it be Gay Time. Gay is a word originally meant to mean happy, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what they mean. Exactly. It's a happy time. Happy time ice cream. Yeah. Because we also had the song Kookaburra. The old Kookaburra in the old gum tree. Can't remember what the song lyrics for the Kookaburra and the old gum tree is, because it's supposed to rhyme with tree. The only one I remember is the Kookaburra sitting on the electric wire, jumping up and down with his pants on fire. Because then it goes, laugh, Kookaburra, gay your laugh must be. There's also a third meaning, which is brightly coloured. See, I wouldn't say like brightly coloured is like you would use loud. In the context of, if I were to wear a neon green suit, I would say that I have a loud outfit on. I wouldn't say I've got a gay outfit on, because well, it's not happy, and I don't know. The third meaning has definitely not used to be rather gay. Hang on, used to be gay rather than loud. Now, okay, so it's probably a long time ago. Okay. Right. So what we're going to do here is, so this is the second dough that we've got. Our first dough. So in comparison, let's throw a bit of a comparison out. So our first dough has risen quite a lot. This is what it started out. This is where we started. This is where we started. This is where we are now. So the recipe calls for, we're going to roll this out, or tip it out, knock it down. Oh, okay. It's really been 7 minutes. Bread is rising, yes. So also tells how we doing. I don't know why so Chatterino would list stuff like, oh, so and so redeemed this, or I could see it in chat. But now I have to sort of check onto OBS and I don't know. Programming, dumb. So okay, so what I was saying is the recipe calls for letting the dough rise, then knocking it back, rolling it into the shape we want, getting all the things we want onto it, and then putting it into the prover for an extra bit of rising. What I was going to do is for sort of what I do at work. This is the thing. So what I do at work is we let that sit, we let that rest. Then we shape that into the size we want, get it to where we need, and then we let that prove. Because I'll explain it again, because let's be honest, I'm going to nerd out. Like, here's what I do for work, and it's fun to... I quite enjoy trying to teach people stuff. So, my thought process with the dough here, so this dough here, the one we've got on the bench, my thought process behind this one is we've let it rise to this point, so all the yeast has started to eat the sugars, and it's done the thing, it's reacted. Now we're going to knock that back. So all the air and all the rising the yeast has created, we're just going to null and void that. Then we're going to let that rise again. Now, there's only a certain amount of yeast, there's only a certain amount of sugar in here. The yeast is going to keep going. The yeast is going to keep going, it's going to keep eating the sugar as much as it wants until the yeast gets too old or too hot and it dies off. So when there's no more sugar in there, it's not going to be able to rise anymore. It's not going to be able to do its job. So that's what I would somewhat consider exhausting. So you've exhausted the yeast in the dough. So it's not going to rise much anymore, which means you're going to have a real dense dough. So what we do at work is we mix the dough, get it to the shape we want. So we mix it, sit on the bench, let it rest for a bit so it's not stiff, easy to work with. Then we shape it into the shape we want, and then we prove it so it has a nice proof. So that's why today it's like, okay, I'm going to do two because we're going to do one with olives, one without olives. But we're going to just trial. We're going to trial the one with olives being the one that we throw onto the bench, we knock back, we shape it, and then we do the thing for it. And then the not olive ones we're going to let do itself. Like, we're just going to do the way I would do it. So that's just my thought process. What we need to do too is I'm going to quickly crush some garlic. Where's my garlic? Here's my garlic. Okay, what's the topping called for? Olive oil. Alright, so I think what happens here is we're going to crush some garlic, and mix it in with some olive oil. I'm going to use that as a brush. I'll use a knife. Knife to crush that. So we get the skin off. There's no point in creating two lots of washes if we're going to wash both of them the same way. No? Know what I mean? Whoop. Why does food taste so good? I would say it depends on how it was made and the circumstances of which you are eating it. So if you haven't had a good, decent meal in a long time, good food is going to hit different because your taste buds aren't accustomed, or they've been somewhat starved of good flavors in a while. But then not only that, when I say the circumstances as well, let's take into example, let's say you've been away from home for a while, like you've gone for a travel abroad, or you've moved out and you're at a college dorm, all that kind of stuff, and then you come home and you have a bit of mum's cooking. You haven't had mum's cooking for a while, so a little bit of nostalgia comes in and starts to like, remember Ma's cooking? Remember Ma's one pot? Oh man. So you sort of, I want to say it's a little bit of a little bit of psychological in a sense. Like you've got that psychological aspect of the food might not taste that great. Like people might not have the same taste palette as you. So I know there's a lot of people in chat is like, ew, onions. There's people out there it's like, oh, but Gam Gam and Pop Pop, they used to make such good bloody caramelized onions. I don't know what they did to them, but the caramelized onions are just hit so different. Know what I mean? Not saying it's umami, but umami. Yeah. I'm not saying. Tell me something's not. Tell me something's umami without telling me something's umami. Local Australian man gets heavily fined for flying a drone to get bunny snag. That's a. Because it's the same as that too. It's exactly the same as that situation too. So you can cook a snag in bread at home any day of the week. There's something about the Bunnings ones. It's just something about those Bunnings snags. Just really hit different. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's like because you've got the nostalgia because you went to Bunnings with Dad and you're like, oh, I don't want to go around Bunnings. I want to be home playing Pokemon. And it's like, come on, kiddo. Come on, I'll let you play in the jungle gym, and after that, we'll get a snag and bread and a can of Coke. Sound alright? He's like, oh, Bunning snag! I'm already in the car, Dad. Let's get the Bunning snag. I don't know. That's sort of just my thought process anyway. Tablespoon of olive oil. A little bit of my olive oil. A little bit of my mate olive oil. Pretty much what we're going to be doing here is just, I guess what we could do here to cheat, per se, is you could get some garlic olive oil anyway. Something I actually did a while back. I used to put, what is it? Chili. So I had a bunch of chilies. I can't remember if I grew them or if I just bought them. But I put a bunch of chilies in olive oil bottles, and I let them sit for a couple of months. And I had chili olive oil. You have the game already. I can get the game already. I don't have the game just yet. Not just yet. You know what I'm going to do? Because I do have a way that we can cheat as well. I'm going to pop a little bit of paste in there as well. So we're going to have garlic chunks, but we're also going to have a little bit of paste in there too. Just cheat. You can get the game too if you want. You can get the game too if you want. You just need to change your region to you just need to have an Australian account on your device. And, Right, so that's going to be our olive oil brush at the moment. Okay, so what we'll do here is I see you in your back pocket. No, don't look at my butt. Stop looking at my buns. I could get the game, but that would be silly for me. Why? Why would it be silly? I'm sure what you could do, Talus, is you could go buy the game and buy a Switch at the same time. So I'm going to do that. All right, so now we're going to do that and this. Because now we're going to buy the console. You can get the Pokemon style one. Okay, so punch down the dough. Need for a minute. Right, so I'm gonna all the disposable funds right now to buy one. Yeah, the disposable funds is definitely going to be yeah. Start a GoFundMe. Okay, so get out. Quick need. Try and push all this flour so we can actually. I'll put that as my stream dono when I start streaming. Yes, well, I think Soma's got that. Soma's got a won't put it as a stream dono. Put it as a throne. So set up a throne account and yeah, have that as your incentives to buy, because you can have it so people don't just they can't just buy it outright. They can actually put toward it. So people can't afford to put down $300 for a Switch console for you. They can put down $2 every month. I'm using my college tuition to buy. Hang on, to bite the game. You're gonna use your college tuition to bite the game? Tell us, what are you doing? Didn't think you could use your college tuition to bite games. Just a bite. I'm gonna touch the butt. Okay, so buy. No, you said butt. Even Titch Grace. So here's my thing too. Here's another little bit of baker's lingo that we're going to learn today. We're going to be learning about kicking. Titch was laughing, yeah. Check it out. Tell Steve's going to butt the game. Oh, Tail's going to butt the game. Where's Mike? There it is. Hot, steamy water. In the bottom of the oven. That should be good. That should be good. That should be fine. Okay. You need to program Titch, say. I'd probably program him to just laugh in general. I'd like get like a laugh track for him. I'm getting there, burrito good. Burrito good. Okay, so cover with plastic and leave rise in a warm place for 20 minutes using using the handle. Oh yeah. So okay. So we're going to let live studio audience laugh track. Yeah, just that real generic one. So what we're going to do here apparently is we're going to yep. So this one here is going to get a right. So remember this, chat. Remember this. The pink dish was the dough that we do TC's way. The grey dish is the dish that we did the recipes way. And we'll see which one need to start and stop abruptly though. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not gonna be a can you like not roll off, please? Go. This is actually going to be fairly interesting because the other dish is got more, like it's got higher walls. So when it proves up, it's got a little bit more, yeah. It's got a little bit more, yeah. Okay. Boop. Boop. And then we're gonna let that sit in there for a bit. Can we see edge? Oh no, you already laughed. You already laughed at Tell, so you already activated. Oven camera on.
Activating oven camera.
Can we see the dough right in there, or is it just showing the reflection of the floor? How's that? I can't see. Looks like you can just see the reflection of me. More so. How about that? You see the dough in there? I can't see without. It looks like it's just more of a reflection, to be honest. No? No. Possibly. I don't know. I can't turn the light on in there just yet because then the oven turns on. I don't want to gas the oven. I don't want to gas the place out, so. Okay, so that is that at the moment. So we just need to let them sit and rise for a little bit. It says using the butt handle of a spoon. But. Where's my scraper? This is a question. I'm definitely gonna need this. This for the garlic wash. Where's my small scraper? Where did I put my small scraper? Looks like I'm using the big one. Because I swear I had my small wide handle one somewhere. I definitely misplaced it somewhere. I'll probably find it, like, over there. There it is. My small scraper. So let me clean up this bench. And then, whoop. do a little bit of cleanup, and while we're waiting for this to prove and stuff, what's the thought process on doing some cake decorating? This is probably going to take a little longer to Oh, it's going to take a little longer. So it's 30 minutes. Not 30 minutes, but because we've accelerated the process. So I want to say that too. So a lot of the timing in here says, you know, leave it for 1 hour, leave it for this, leave it for that. But we're putting them in more ideal conditions, right? So I'm putting it in a nice, hot, warm bath to make the dough rise a bit faster. I'm also putting it in a makeshift prover, whereas this recipe here might be talking about just put it in an area for a while and it should rise. So I don't know. So I feel like when I make these doughs, they seem like they go a little bit faster than the intended recipe. So let me clean up this mixer, because if we're going to do... Also, like, the reason why I say let's do a bit of cake decorating is because I need to make this cake tonight, and the more that I can do now means the more Pokemon I can play before I actually have to finish the cake and go out to dinner. You know, it's just me being productive and preemptively being lazy as well. You know, like any good professional should be. So that, yeah, if I get all my chores done now, then I've got 16 hours to do nothing. And then said card. I heard that. But yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, like sometimes those tasks, like, yeah, if I get the task done now, then I'll have 16 hours to do nothing, and then the task takes like 4 hours to do. No, my 16 hours of downtime has been dwindled to 12. Why? Why can't I have nice things? Oh man. Yes. Now the question too is, do I have... So it's pretty much like what it's saying with the wooden spoon is we're just going to be putting indents in there. But we're initially like docking the dough. I've got my... So what else is there? So I've got the sea salt, the natural sea salt. Got the olives. Mark, if you're still watching, yeah, I pinched some rosemary again. I don't know why. I'm tipping it's probably just OBS. I think to myself, why isn't the camera doing good? Why do I look over here and it's going all slow? I think it's just OBS. So OBS, my monitor, or just like upload or whatever. Because the camera here's looking fine. I don't know. You always have good music on your stream. Well, thanks. If you go to YouTube and search Game Chops, the only live channel the live stream they've got is what I'm listening to at the moment. And Game Chops have just good remixes. Game Chops, DJ Cutman, and Kumu. Kumu, those are the three I would recommend. This shake is low quality. Ew. The great thing about this lineup too is it's safe for streams. So they have DJ Cutman has a live stream on YouTube where he plays his songs, and that one is not safe for streams. But this one here is 100% safe for stream. It even says it in the description. So that's why this is usually my go-to, because it just got good bops. It's just good bops. But having that added benefit of you know, don't have to worry about the licensing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good. Then I'm just like, again, I'm a big video game nerd, so I can sit there and say, I know this song from this franchise, and this one looks good. You know, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Green, I got a mold kitchen. So, you know what? I am going to, like I said, I'm going to utilize this time I've got on my hands. As much as, you know, I'm still going to stand around and chat with you guys. Still going to have a great time and chat with you guys. But I'm going to utilize this time as well to create some icing because I have cake. I have a cake. I'm going to ice this orange. Because it is Mama TC's birthday today. And we are going out for dinner, and I've been commissioned to make cake for today. I've also been commissioned to make a cake for next week as well, so... Yes. That one's going to be a bit more elaborate, a little bit more bigger and stuff. This one's just for immediate family. So this one... ice that full. Ice that full. I'm just really hoping that I have enough. I should have enough icing mixture. It's only a 6-inch cake. Make sure I can make enough. So the recipe, or what I use here, is I just use a vegetable shortening called Solite and icing mixture. Is that how much I want? Yeah, we'll go with that. Or that. Do you get cake on Sunday? You come around on Sunday? If there's leftover cake, yes. Better yet, Thorn. Better yet, if you come around sometime today, you can have the leftover cupcakes I made out of it. Just a little bit too much mix for the tin, so it's like, I might as well make some cupcakes. Leave that in there. Give this a quick mix to soften it up. I'm just going to dump a bunch of icing sugar in there, and we're going to throw some water. Now, unfortunately, the icing is just going to be icing flavored. I'll make it... no, I'll just make it icing flavored. Just regular old icing flavored, because I didn't have any orange extract. The middle still tastes like chocolate, don't worry about that. But, yes. Also don't have orange food coloring, so we're going to have to get creative and make some orange ourselves. Vanilla is fine. I don't want to have a lot of conflicting flavors. So we've got the orange cake, so it's orange velvet. We've got the orange velvet cake, we've got the chocolate in the inside, and I don't want to have vanilla on the outside. So it's just going to be just icing. It's going to look the part. It's going to look nice. Know what I mean? There we go. Get nice and soft for me. I have to keep an eye on those things too. One thing that we are going to have to make sure that we keep it a distance is let's get this garlic olive oil out the way. Make sure that we don't get the garlic in there, because the last thing I want to do is make a cake with garlic icing. Speaking of weird things, to make, we are not going to be making garlic ice cream or garlic anything to do with cake. I can't remember the guy's name, but people have suggested this content creator to me, and I've seen his stuff on Instagram a bunch of times. And he was add some garlic garnish to the cake. Ew. He finds recipes from old recipe books, and they're wacky. Like there's the mayonnaise chocolate cake, which I would really love to make one day. There was a appleless apple pie. I am, yes. So if you want it to be a surprise, then look away. I got a bit of time on my hands, so I've been waiting for this stuff to rise. We probably could fix them up now-ish. A little bit of water. But, so what was I saying? Yeah, so this guy finds recipes from old sources, and they're just absolutely wacky. and I saw one of his things recently, and it was ice cream bread. Orange, yeah. I'm gonna mix up the colors myself. So I saw that, and it's like ice cream bread, and honestly, it's just ice cream cake, like ice cream in cake in a sense. But it's like, this looks very interesting, and I would love to try and make this myself. So every video I find of his that looks cool, interesting, and he likes, I save. So I save it for later, and it's like, yeah, we'll try and make that. We'll try that, make that one stream. Or better yet, if it seems really wacky and cursed, we'll send it over to Nishan. Get Nishan to... You know what I just realized? I could really throw somebody out with a chat with your eyes closed. Well, there is a way that you can close the stream down but still have chat up. So you can still have audio. Yeah, so you can still have the audio, but you don't have the visual. TV is an awesome cook. Beru. Nice 10 or D10. Oh, okay. It's like, what? What? Okay, you were trying to chat with your eyes closed. Okay. It was like, okay. I thought you were talking about the comment I made about the guy on the Instagram. I don't think his name is TV. I don't think his name is TV for some reason. So yeah, TC is an awesome cook. I don't know whether Beru nice. The last thing is 10 out of 10. Very nice. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Right, so I'm going to add a bit more. I don't mind if we have a lot of excess icing sugar, but we just want to make sure we've got enough icing, because the last thing we want to do is ice this cake, and I don't have enough icing, per se. But once I get this to a good consistency, then we'll get these out and we'll fix them up, get them in, bake them, all the good stuff, Get that crack-a-lackin'. I want this to be a good consistency of pliable but stiff. Don't want it too sloppy. Like, I don't want it to sort of ooze off the cake, but also don't want it to be like... We are making frosting. Now, I know I'm being pedantic and particular about this, but there is no butter in this, so it is not a butter icing. And it's one thing that I will continuously hold over the people I work with when we make this at work, because we use the exact same ingredients at work to make this frosting, this icing. And they turn around and say, oh, we're going to make some buttercream today. And I say, no, we're not. We are making frosting. Oh, but it's buttercream. The recipe says buttercream. It's like, did we put butter in the recipe today? No. Well, there's not butter icing now, is it? We used a vegetable shortening, which is definitely not butter. It is I can't believe it's not butter. I know I'm being a particular ridiculous and being an idiot. I don't care. It's funny. I'm gonna a little bit more of that. A little bit more of that. Pretty much, yeah, what I'm doing at the moment is trying to get a good consistency for the icing, so it's nice and pliable, and it's going to be able to, so we can smear it on there nice and good. But we also want to make sure that we have enough icing. Like I said before, I don't want to get halfway through it and go, I need to tack some off the side to make sure I've got enough for the top, then I'll show. The final step for this cake will be done off stream, just for the simple fact of I need to make ganache, and I need to let that ganache cool down, and then we're going to put that over the top. I will definitely be taking photos and putting them onto the Discord, so look out for the photos there. But even before then, I'm thinking, yep, okay. let's get these out. So I'll let you sit and mix in the background because we've got our things ready. So these are now ready to do the thing. Julie, do the thing! I'm gonna fire this up, fire this up, fire this up, fire this up to 117 scorching degrees. 180. And force. So now what we're going to do is, where is a good, we'll use this, we'll use the butt end of this. So this is going to be the olives, this is going to be the not olives. So I don't like the fact that might have left this It seems like I'm pushing two greater holes in this, but oh well. Okay. Now garlic wash now. Quick mix. Garlic wash. You gonna see what's going on? Sort of. Yeah, I just realized I can do this. Bam. Wide angle lens, baby! You can see everything that's going on. Love this camera. Might also try, oh yeah. Don't get stuck in there, please. Nice. Try to get some of the garlic bits on there too. Yes. Okay, so that is that there. A few sprigs of the rosemary. Also get the dry oregano soon. And the sea salt. Now, honestly, I think they sort of did turn out the same, even though the process was different. Well, so here's my thing. So they sort of did turn out similar, in a sense. So they don't both look sort of proving up the same. This one's actually looking like it's proved up a lot more. As I said, the reason why I've gone the way I have today was trying to make one that's my style and one that's the recipe style, because I've had the doughs in the past not really hold shape very well. But like I said, it's probably because I've been using all-purpose flour instead of strong flour like the recipe calls for. So there is always that. Have I opened up this oregano yet? Yes, I have. Some oregano. And then it's pretty much, yeah, the sea salt. Just like Mama Maglioli. Easy. Now we need some olives. Shake going. So is this shake you're talking about, is this like a, what is this shake you're talking about? Are you having like a supplement shake? I'm gonna plop the olives into the holes I placed. Because why not? These are gonna stay in there. They'll stay in place and not gonna go anywhere. Okay. Oreo ice cream. Oh man, that sounds good. gonna say, I've got a packet of Oreos in the cupboard. No, I don't. I ate them. Can't remember why I bought them, to be honest. Oh, I was gonna use them for the Halloween stream. I was gonna make little choco spiders with them, but I went against that. So I'm gonna do that as the final one, and that is going to be all of the thingos. So here is our focaccia bases. And we're going to bake that at 180 degrees Fahrenheit or 350 degrees... No, 118 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes. Olives, more. I think that's enough. Nah. That's enough. Alright, so you can go at the top. So I'm gonna give them 20 minutes, then I'm gonna switch the places. So I'm gonna put one up the top, one down the bottom. Can we see the stuff that's in there? Looks like we can. So we're gonna 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Titch. Start a 20-minute timer.
Okay, starting 20-minute timer.
Okay. Now while that's doing that, we can get back to icing the cake. What's the herbs you put on it? I just got sound back. So we put fresh rosemary and dried oregano. Or oregano, should I say? Oregano. I say oregano. Probably because Mum says it and Dad says it and most other people say it and it's just funny. Yo, oregano! Okay, so now let's get some orange into this. And we can also go zoom back in. Okay, so I want to do. Should be tasty. I'm definitely keen for it. Definitely keen for it. So what? So I think it's going to be 2 yellow. So I'm going to do 2 yellow to 1 red. 1, 2. No. We're going for orange. We're trying to get an orange cake today, Tails. Let's try clean that. We got a bit of rosemary on the mixing paddle. Please give me hot water. Well, yeah. I mean that sort of that is one way to get the desired. There we go. Orange. Shut up. It's supposed to be yellow. Don't think the camera's not really picking up the colour very well. I'll do that. Whoa! Oh god, that's high definition. That's orange. That's what we're after. More red. That's a nice yellow on my end. I still might add a little bit more. Might do 3 yellow, 1 red. I didn't think about it. Didn't think about it at the time, but I could have bought some orange food coloring from the store where I got all my cake gear from. But I just didn't think about it. I thought I had orange at home, but it turns out the orange I had at home was just... I had to mix it myself. We got orange at home, kids! Might actually add... Not at this speed, though. Not at this speed. I'm actually going to add a little bit more water. Like I said, I want it to be a little bit pliable, but I don't want it to be too stiff. Or I don't want it to be too runny, but I don't want it to be too stiff. A little bit more, a little bit less, that kind of silly thing. Okay, and now we're going to do the minutest amount of red. Yeah. I'm actually liking that. I think that's going to be enough. No, so no more. Yeah, I think that's a good orange. That's a good orange. It's almost like a blood orange, to be honest. There's a fancy cake place not too far away on a random back road if I survive the lockdowns. I think I know where you're talking about, and I go there for my what you call it, my basic needs. So if I need like small cake items here and there, I'll go to that place. But if I need big specialty items, I'll go to a place that's about 45 to an hour drive away. So, but without doxing us too much, if I were to say, are you thinking of Churney? Oh, I love Aussie lingo so much. Because all I need to say is Churney, and everybody that's not from around here is like, what the hell are you talking about? And everyone's like, I know a Churney. I know Churney. But if I say, is it around Churney, would I be in the right ballpark? Sounds terrible too, doesn't it? Oh, it's puffing up. Fair enough. Yep, that's the one. Yeah. I only went there once to make. Oh, you made the Weedle cake. I think I missed that. Oh man. Now you're making me want to make a Weedle cake. You know who? Oh, you know who would love that? Cupcake Dex. Cupcake Dex would love that. Well, I mean, remember the response that we got out of Dex when we told her about the told them about the cottony cream puffs. That would go ballistic. That would go ballistic over that. Post on Discord. Oh, and I have to. I'd like to show them, but I'm not sure how. Without me stealing it and putting it on my Instagram, I'm not sure how I would be able to sort of show them. But okay, so I'm going to say that is our orange frosting. Oops, that's not good. Okay, so we'll just make sure that we keep. Whoops. Try and keep away from that section. Just touch the mixing part of my mixer, which is a little bit dirty. Okay, that's gonna be enough. Now you can go into there. Let me clear this up a little bit. So we got, it's like 13 minutes. It's all good. The other thing too is the reason why I'm giving the bread a little bit extra time is because we're bringing it up from 100 degrees as opposed to putting it straight in. So we're going to need that extra bit of baking time to make sure that it actually does bake. Good screenshot from Discord. Yes, but I am not in Dex's Discord. So the one way would be to jump into their Discord and say, hey, check it out. Somebody from my community had made a Weedle cake and we thought that you might like it. Or the other easier alternative is I just take it myself and put it on my Discord. Oh, no, not my Discord, put it on my Instagram that they are following. I want to say they, just to be safe. But I'm pretty sure it's her. Pretty sure they would go by pronouns are hard, especially for this old git. This place is starting to smell amazing. This place is so. I'm sorry if I'm going to make you guys jealous, but that is true too. That's true. Obviously, with permission, I could post it on my Instagram with your username or like your details into it and put it into the description as well to make sure that it's like, here's the person you should give credit to. I'm just distributing it to the world, so Yeah. That's actually a good point, guys. That's a good point. I can pinch it and then show it off for... Ah, yes. I just saw the notification. So that's a real good thing too. I can see the notification on my phone. I'm going to wide angle this baby. Maybe wide angle should probably be the right call here. What do we think? Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's ice is cake. So what I've done, so this morning I have filled, not too far away, is it? What about that? Probably should just do that. That's probably a bit better. Yeah. I did a quick paint of chef in the kitchen. Oh. Yo, Way Bread! Welcome in, Raiders. How are we doing? We get to see. We get to see a clip. We get to see a clip. Let's see if I can actually see it from here. I should probably grab my mouse real quick, so I can. Oh, oh yes.
He's not dancing. There it is.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh, I love it.
Oh boy.
Oh, that is so
Fuck the
good.
Chippies dinner. We're actually making solid food. I'm not gonna lie. We're doing well.
That is a good
Yes,
thing.
we're dancing. Yes, we're losing track of time. But we're also making dinner.
That's good. Love a good party in the kitchen. Could love a good party in the kitchen. I actually need to keep this with me. It wasn't good that you created. Oh no. But Baker Bouquet, let me know if I've overly butchered your name there. Welcome in. Lemon, how we doing? That's a weird looking focaccia, man. We're currently doing something in the meantime while focaccias are baking. I have a commission for this afternoon. I thought, yeah, well, let's knock two birds with one stone in a sense. But Way Bread. Not only thank you so much for dropping your community over, thank you for joining the Shark Tank. And Baker Fouquet, thank you for joining the Shark Tank. I hope you enjoy your stay here. What were you cooking? What were you cooking? You gotta let me know. Hello, how we doing? Anti-lovers, salad after gym. No, daughter, don't call random out. How did your stream go the other day, random? I know Waybread is the one with the raid. I saw a little bit of your stream the other day. How did that go? But what were we cooking, Waybread? What were we cooking? Right, yes. Bless people who click normal things. Bless them. Bless them all the way. Sounds great. Love to clarify. Love that. Thanks for clarifying. Yes. Wait, camera's here. So our focaccias are in the oven here. After the timer goes off, we're going to give them quick swappity doo. Cooking up some OnlyFans content. I don't want the news. I just want the mouse to be put aside. Have no memory of your stream. Beckle. OnlyFans or only flans? That is the good question, Waybread. That is the question we need to ask. But Sandro, welcome to the Shark Tank. I hope you enjoy your stay here. Now, OnlyPants. Technically, OnlyPants. Yes, the OnlyPants. I'm actually surprised there isn't actually an OnlyPants website out there. The amount of people that use that jokingly I've seen on the internet, they should just make it a thing. Just have a dedicated food service. Why call the police? Why? Hello. Hey. How are we doing, Sandro? Welcome in. To everybody new that came in with Waybread's raid, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Titanium Chef. I am a variety food and drink streamer from Australia. During the week, we play a bit of video games. At the moment, we're doing Nuzlocke November. So we're trying to beat a Nuzlocke randomized version of Pokemon X by the end of the month. If I don't beat it by the end of the month, then I have to do a punishment stream, in a sense. And it looks like it's probably going to be me in a maid outfit, to be honest. Let's just say that out there. It's probably just going to be that. But Friday is Australian Eastern Standard Time, so around this time, every Friday, I do a cooking stream. And what I cook varies from stuff I find in recipe books around the house to stuff from video games, anime, TV shows, and movies. I also do viewer requests as well. So much like today, we had a viewer request for Focaccia. So I decided, well, I didn't decide, I accepted the request and we made Focaccia today. So if you save up enough TC tokens, you can suggest either a theme for a cooking stream or a dish in general. If that's the kind of stuff...
Sandro_02 has requested you hydrate.
That I shall do in a second. But if that's the kind of content that you are interested in seeing, then I hope you enjoy your stay here. But, Concealer corrected me. Focaccia is yum. It smells amazing. It smells amazing. So we've got one that's garlic olive oil, rosemary and oregano, and then we've got one exactly the same, but it's got olives in there. But what we did is I did one to the recipe that I'm using at the moment. So I'm using a recipe from the Baking Bible, and I made one that was more similar to what I make at work. So I'm a qualified pastry cook by trade, but I work as a baker for a large supermarket franchise. And I made the second dough how I would make it at work. So the recipe called for mixing the dough, mixing the dough, getting it all done and dusted, sitting it aside, let it prove up, knocking it back, rolling it out, proving it up again, and then we bake it off. Whereas what I'm used to at work is mixing the dough, letting it sit, mold it, then prove it. So we don't do an initial prove, knock back, and then prove again. We just do one prove and then bake it. So the Baking Bible, which is, I'm being a heretic and rewriting the Bible because a lot of, especially with the Focaccia recipe, it gives you a list of ingredients of what you need to use. But then midway through the recipe, it'll say, oh, guess what? You need 250 ml of water and half a teaspoon of salt here. It doesn't list in the ingredients. Like, it's a bit prejudiced to say that water is an ingredient or not. So... But, and I saw that, daughter, you haven't had a flan before. I think a flan is just like a fancy tart or a pie in a sense. Like you have a fruit flan, which is pretty much like a custard tart with fruit on it. I don't know. It's that. I read that you are from Australia. Cool. Yes, I am from Victoria. Not the most southern state, but southern nevertheless. So, Claire Stafford's book did the same thing with water. Just made her bagel recipe the other night. Wrote it all out, read it, and she mentions the water in written part. Not gonna lie, bothered me. So we had, let me just take a, sorry, Sandro, cheers. I think not putting water in the ingredients list is a part of Bon Appetit style guide. Yeah, so we actually had a little bit of a debacle. So I had a cooking battle with a good streamer friend of mine, Sailor Andromeda, and I sent her a recipe from the Baking Bible, which did the same thing. It said, "Oh, add the water in at this point," and she didn't put it in. So she was making choux pastry, but had no water into it, so it didn't form correctly. So we had this big cooking battle gate, if you will. So apparently I tried to sabotage her, but it was in the recipe, but I didn't specify it in the recipe list. So that's just made me really sad. But yeah, like when you read a recipe, you have the list of ingredients so you can get everything out. Like if you want to go full TV presenter style, you have all the ingredients listed out. All the ingredients weighed up, and you go, I've got this much of this much of that, this much of that, this much of that. And
okay.
Gotta pull the loctels. But even like with this one here, so the Focaccia recipe in the book says we want 405 grams of strong flour, or 14 and a quarter ounces, or 3 1/4 cup. That is Razv or Raz7, 1998. Razv. Welcome to the Shark Tank. I hope you enjoy your stay here. But, sorry, it makes sense, but I hate it. I don't think it makes sense. Like, it's an ingredient that you have to add in eventually. Like, everything is in in order. Everything is in order, so... But, I'm getting a little bit carried away by chat, but, so... I get not having water and ingredients, but then it needs to be bolded in the directions. Yes, that is 100% true. That's 100% true. You gotta work. No problem, no problem. And yeah, BJ paper and pens. Glad you're having fun with my lights. So we've got basic colors, and if you use exclamation roadworks, police, and I think that's it at the moment. Oh, you got turn left and turn right. So we've got indicators for my thing as well. Sorry, I mean that it makes sense that her book does it that way because Bon Appetit is also like that. Okay. I think it makes sense since it's Bon Appetit. Yeah. Bon Appetit, right. I don't think I've seen Bon Appetit, to be honest. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit carried away. I'm currently trying to ice a cake real quick before the timer goes off. Never mind. Whenever you're pulling stuff out of the oven, please make sure that you put on your safety sharks, because we don't want to have any burnt fingies or hands in our kitchen. If you don't have safety sharks, oven mitts will do just fine. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab the focaccias and we're going to give them a quick whoop-de-doo in another 10 minutes. Just to make sure that they're cooked nice and even. And we get some colour on them, just like that. Opa. And can we see what's going on in the oven there? Titch. Oh, right, because I've got OBS as the active scene. Okay, Titch. Start a 10-minute timer.
Okay, starting 10-minute timer.
Old Bon Appetit was great because of the people on it. New Bon Appetit is just kind of, it's just kind of not going to be the same. Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've actually seen this show or seen this IP. I feel like I should. Being a bit of a foodie myself, I feel like I should have, but yes. Yeah, so I'm just going to give this a quick ice on the outside. I'm going to trail it, make it nice and flat. What I'm going to be doing with this is we're going to ice it orange. So we've got an orange velvet cake with chocolate frosting on the inside. And then I'm going to obviously do orange on the outside. Then I'm going to do some ganache later today and do a drizzle over the top. So let's get that. It's quick. So one thing I hate about using small bases or small cakes, it's hard to keep them still on the board. But Whey Bread, if you need to, do some stuff after your stream, clean up, grab a drink, have a sit down, just unwind in general, by all means do that. If you haven't already. And yeah, I hope everybody else is having a wonderful day. There is put a video I really like about a chef at a Chinese restaurant. Oh, okay. But I only like it because it's not in the kitchen, not in the test kitchen, and not the usual stuff. So, would you kindly be able to explain to me what this show is about? Because it sort of sounds like they do a lot of test recipes. This needs to be more center, please. Thank you. I say that and it immediately gets pushed to the side. Immediately. And also, if you have a link to it, throw it in the chat as well. You're not going to get banned if you throw links in the chat. It definitely sounds like something I should at least, even if it's older seasons and stuff, I should give it a try. Put a bit more on the top. So glad. There's a Solar Claire and Claire left though. Yeah, I think I'm definitely. It's stuff is being said and it's that. I'm missing the I'm missing the content. Sorry, I just said the other one. They went through some struggle over the past few years due to workplace equality and stuff on the business side. Still had some good recipes and personalities, but never going to be the old test kitchen crew. Okay. Bon Appetit is a condu cast nast, I think cast nast food media thing. They had it good with a YouTube golden age. The owners blew up by being awful. Oh, okay. It's a bit of a shame. A bit of a shame when you got like a good IP or a good thing going on, and then it sort of goes to your head, and you become a bit of a butt. You become known for being a butt. So when you say Bon Appetit and the sort of the drama behind everything, I think to myself of Try Guys. Never watched them, never knew who they were, but I only sort of know recently because there was a bit of a debacle in that aspect, and it's a bit of a sad thing because they had the like an IP themselves, which was it was like a no recipe sort of thing. Like they would make stuff without knowing the recipe. It's like that would have been a cool thing to watch, but never really got into it. But, yeah. This is actually, I think I iced this up pretty nice. Condé Nast is a magazine media company, most known for Vogue. Ah, okay. Well then that definitely. Sends you titanium paint. I was actually going to say before, Kev, it's very much appreciated that you drew a paint and a picture of me. I've only thought, like, if I get back into drawing, I wanted to draw of you or your model. That'd be really fun. It'd be really fun to do. To the point of, like, I wanted to ask a few questions, like, what is this aspect of you? I'm not sure if I fully grasp this aspect of you. I want to say that is actually quite well iced at the moment, because I don't need the top to look pretty. Don't need the top to look pretty because the top's going to get a ganache drizzle. So I'm gonna whip up a ganache after I go pick up Pokemon Violet, because Pokemon. I have no clue what I'm doing, but I need to dabble more in things to get used to them. Exactly. Get yourself out of your comfort zone and start doing things that is going to help progress your, not only your art style, but just like your general knowledge of the medium. And one of the things I like to see, I watched it a few times, I don't do so much anymore, was when Ina from Hololive was doing the poses sketch, or the figures sketch, or sketching classes. It's like, that's a good like drill to get yourself down. Like if you can just sort of quickly doodle down a couple of poses and sketches, like you don't have to make them into anything else, but it just sort of gets you in that mind frame of, oh, okay, so this is how you do it this way, and this way. But enjoy the Pokemon enthusiasm. I was gonna say, can't really see it, but I've got, what am I doing? I've got a really fantastic technology that I can go, Titch, zoom in.
Zooming in.
I can take the camera now and I can say, like, I've got stuff in the corner here. And I got a Pokeball that nobody really asks me about anymore. Which is fine. This is fine. I say this now because I actually do want to show off the Pokeball, so. I have icing on my face. It's an aesthetic thing. I purposely done that. Titch, zoom out.
Zooming out.
I can't even see it. It's gotta be there. I think it was icing, but I wasn't sure. I just ordered some more Tombow pencils today, actually. Ooh. I'm just about to do a couple of grades. Tombow pencils. Don't think I've heard of Tombow pencils before. The only ones I know are like Castell. Right eyebrow. Ah. I felt it. It's like, okay, I do have icing on my face. It's icing sugar. Thanks, Ma. Thanks, chat. Thanks for making sure I don't look like a goon on the more of a goon. Yeah, little sugar scrub. Yeah. Would that? No, I was gonna say, would that be good for the skin, like exfoliating? Or don't think so, to be honest. I know the oil is definitely bad, so you may make donuts at work, and if you're standing in front of the fryer for too long, I know that you're going to get like a lot of outbreaks and pimples and all that kind of stuff because you're dealing with fat. Like, yeah. So it's best to, even if you work in the fast food industry, like McDonald's or KFC or something like that, make sure you give yourself a good. This is not coming off as mean, like scrub yourself up, you dirty bum. Scrub your dirty self up. No, like when you finished up, doing the frying and stuff, get like I want to say like makeup face washes, but just like make sure you give your face a good scrub because it's how you're going to get your outbreaks and stuff. Just that excess oil. But regardless, I think that turned out very, very good. The camera makes it look very pale. Okay. Let's see if I can. There we go. We've got a bit more color in that one there. Still trying to learn out the ins and outs of the program I'm using on my phone for camera sharing. So it's a lot less pale now. So now we're going to actual orange color. So, but as I said, we just want the outside to look nice and straight, nice and flat. Top doesn't really matter because, like I said, I'm going to stick this in the fridge, make sure it's nice and set and hard, and then we're going to I'm going to make a ganache a little bit later. Let that sit and set a little bit before I pour it on, because I don't want to drizzle it while it's too runny because it's going to ooze everywhere. So this is an orange velvet with chocolate frosting. So I've come into contact with a few. Now I'm not gonna sugarcoat the fact that, well, not when I say sugarcoat. I'm gonna be honest when I talk about the cakes I make. So I've made cakes heaps in the past, family, friends, all that kind of stuff. I am definitely not against using packet mixers or premixes, because premixes ensure that you're going to get a guaranteed good product if you follow the instructions correctly. The amount of times I've made a chocolate mud cake for a family from scratch, and the top has crusted and the center has sunk, and I have to make do with what I got at the time, it's just a lot easier and almost a lot cheaper. Premixes do cost a lot more than making it by scratch, but you're paying for a guaranteed product. They taste good and they work, exactly. So all the cakes I make for family and friends and the big elaborate cakes I make, I will always use a packet mix. And the store that I go to that I buy a lot of my cake gear from, they had a range of different velvet cakes. So most people are familiar with red velvet. This store had purple velvet, green velvet, orange velvet. It's like, ooh. I got the purple velvet and had made that for my grandma's. It was 90th. Grandma turned 90, didn't she, Mum? And we're going to be doing a purple velvet for Mum's birthday party, but for Mum's birthday, which is today, so you can wish Mama TC a happy birthday in chat. We are doing an orange velvet, so we're doing like a Jaffa style cake, to be honest. The food scientists know what they're doing exactly. Baking is a science, unfortunately, but it's easy to learn, I think, in my mind. And Baker Fouquet, tomorrow, hang on. Tombow is a super solid brand of pencils. They have great graphite. Ooh. It processes properly so you get smooth leads the whole way through. Okay, so Tombow's a brand. Okay. Probably one I haven't looked into because I haven't really done traditional drawing or traditional art, if you will, in a very long time. I'm planning on going down the line of digital soon if I want to get back into it because it's a lot easier. But to the old days when I did art classes, but I want to get into it someday here. The art or the food. I think we were talking about a bunch of stuff. The only thing I find is that sometimes they are too tender But if you need the cake to hold up well, Swiss roll, for example, the box. Yeah, so for specialty cakes like that, like roulades and Swiss rolls and all that kind of stuff, probably best you use like a scratch recipe. But for just cakes in general, so all of the cakes I make are sort of like birthday cakes, novelty cakes. So having them nice and firm is what I want. So yes, but I do understand where you're coming from. Like using the packet mixes, they probably use a all-purpose flour, which is making cake from scratch. Yes. So no no sponges. No. Where is? So I want to switch this out so I can get the focaccia timer went off a while ago. Back to. That's the wide angle lens on this. Focaccia. Titch. Oven camera off.
Deactivating oven camera.
We don't need that camera on anymore. So yes. So here are our focaccias. Oh, hang on. I need to zoom in so I can get it. No, not yet. Not yet because we're gotta take them off the trays. Gotta take them off the trays. If I don't take them off the trays, then they'll look fine at the moment, but we're gonna make them look even better. We're doing this. Grab my shark bit. Sit that there. And you can sit there. Whoopsies. Why must you be like this? I just want you to cleanly come over here. Yep. Plus, I don't want to leave focaccia in. Yeah, you don't want no soggy bread. I don't want no soggy bread. Well, to an extent, though. If you dip the bread into something, say, like an olive oil dip or something else, like that's when I can get behind. Soggy on top, perhaps. Exactly, yeah. Soggy by design. You don't want to sweat. You don't want sweaty bread. You don't want to let your bread play Overwatch 2 for too long. You don't want to get sweaty bread. T. Cooney. Welcome to the Shark Tank. I hope you enjoy your stay here. You sweaty bread. Yeah. These breads are not allowed to go to Evo at all. No. Can I get a good Gotta do it for the gram. Gotta get it for the gram. Yeah. Titch. Zoom in.
Zooming in.
So here are our focaccias. We have a garlic and olive style variety, and we have an olive-less variety of focaccia. Now, a little bit of insight and explanation between the two doughs. I followed the recipe to the T for the olive style. So the one that has the olives, I went 100% by the book. So we let it sit in the bowl, we let it prove up, then we knocked it back down, then we worked it a bit more, and then we formed it and let it prove after that. The garlic, or the olive less style one, I did what I would do at where I work, which is we didn't let it do the first prove, we just molded it straight off the bat and let it prove once. Now, I can already see a big difference between these two. The next thing also is I've been using all-purpose flour for a lot of the recipes in this book when it called for strong flour. Now, the reason I was doing all-purpose flour is because I was getting a little bit lazy. So I've got all-purpose flour, just use all-purpose flour. I know, I need to be using the proper flour for the proper products. But trying to make it so everybody at home can use the flours that they've got at their place, I would use what I have. Hitch. Zoom out.
Zooming out.
So I have a feeling that it's more so using the correct flour has given us the really nice finish here. So now my thought process with this too is, do we still have some left over or did I get rid of it? We still do. My thought process is, although we brushed it with olive oil and garlic, I'm thinking about whipping up a little bit more of a garlic, like more garlic olive oil now, and giving it one more brush over the top. Just so it's got a little bit more of that sort of olive oil finish. Have you tried using a bit of scalded semolina, or even just a small addition of semolina for focaccia before? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, but I do have semolina. Semolina? No, I've got polenta. I don't have semolina. I'm gonna say I haven't done it at home, but I may have done something similar at work, or when I was doing a apprenticeship and stuff. Give such a delicious sweet note. Or might have to give that a I'm sure there's a lot of recipes in here that call for like semolina or polenta. Pizza. That's what it was. I have a pizza-based recipe that says like you roll it, sort of dust the base of the pan with polenta or semolina, and then you bake the pizza and you put that on the bottom. Yeah, so I'm gonna give this just a quick. Is it gonna knock the? I think it might. Strong flour. Is that like bread flour? 11 to 12% protein. Protein's about. Yes. So I've used like a specialty bag of flour that was baker's flour, and it even said on there, what did it say? It said suitable for like breads, pies, and focaccias. Swole flour. Yes, the flour that's gone to the gym and got the gains. So, yeah, see, that was what I was sort of worried about. I was sort of worried that, I mean, if I dab it on, yeah. So I was worried that if I brush, then I'm going to knock off all the salt that's on there. I'll do it for at least this one. I'm going to leave that one the way it is. Yo! That is a Devik. A Devik? A Devik. Please let me know if I butcher any of your usernames. I can't read very well apparently, but a Devik and Cook NG Cooking Girl. Is that Cooking Girl? Please tell me if it's Cooking Girl, because I love that. Yo, Cooking Girl. It's like the hashtag that I use for my Instagram. I use Baker Boys whenever I'm doing that. But yes, Cooking Girl. I love it. But it could be a Dive K. But anyway, welcome to the Shark Tank. I hope you enjoy your stay here. Husband's nickname for you? Oh, that's adorable. I love that. Little pet name is, hey, Cooking Girl. Adavik. They call me Dad. They call me Addy. Oh wow. I've been on the internet a bit too long. I need to touch some grass. They call me Daddy. So I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I mean, unless, but I'm sorry. Woo! Oh god. Focaccia looks delicious. Thank you. It smells delicious. Well, I have a feeling I've given you a new nickname, Maddie. I'm terribly sorry. You expect this kind of content from some other people out here. Brain, I can't read things, so that says Daddy. Usually I miss words in people's sentences, so I read something and they go, no, like, they'll say something and I go, oh, so that's something you like. Oh, that's a really weird thing to sort of like. Explain. I want to know the sort of process of why you like this particular thing. It's like, no. Read the message again, TC. It says, I can't, or I don't. Like, oh, right, I didn't read that properly, did I? I mean, in all honesty, when these people put these messages in, I read them. I'm currently playing a game at the time, so I'm focusing on two things at once. So you can blame me, but yeah. I normally don't make the daddy joke. That's just on me. That's just on me. I think it's more so I've been on the internet for that long that it's just one of those jokes, or one of those memes that's just stuck in my head. So, yeah. Oh, and I'm getting emails. Yeah, I get it. Adobe Express Premium because of my Twitch affiliate? What? Get out of here. It's annoying. I'm getting a little notification. It's like, you got an email. It's like, I don't care. Get out of here. I want to read chat. But, yeah. That's pretty much it for today, actually. So I think everybody came in at pretty much the perfect time. We finished icing the cake today, and we got the bread out of the oven, which is all good. But any time that anybody pops in is the perfect time. Always and forever. But yeah. Usually I would cut the. Oh, hang on. No, I will. Usually I would cut them up and give them a taste, and have my 2 cents on the matter. It's like, oh, I'm not going to do that today because I'm going to have to take some photos of them. It's like, what am I doing? I can just pause the stream, have everybody, or make sure that everybody is refreshed and stuff, and can, let people have a chance to, go to the bathroom and all that kind of stuff before we jump out and say hello to somebody else that's amazing on Twitch. Can you come out of the cupboard, please? I want you because you were nice, big, and fancy. And I got you from Tassie for a while ago. I missed the icing. It's alright. Use that stuff. No, I won't, because it's got a whole bunch of list of what the woods are on here. We've got Blackwood, we've got Tassie Oak, we've got Myrtle, we've got Tassie Oak, we've got Blackwood, we've got Cherry Top Pine. Fancy. Ice that full. Showing up when food's coming out of the oven and dessert's ready is always the right time to show up. It's what my uncle and auntie do a lot. We'll have a family get together and they'll always show up for dessert. To the point of, like, we just know that it's gonna happen. So it's like, are they gonna rock up today? And it's like, yeah, only for dessert though. And yep, sure enough, they skip the luncheon and the Barbie part and straight to dessert. Oh, where's the trifle? There we go. We got a nice big plate for that now. Yes, the convenient family member that shows when food is ready and magically showed up. Yes, they're not there for the preparation, but they're there for the consumption. Which honestly, depending on how much food you make, is definitely not a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. Like, if you've got a lot of food that you have to get rid of, that one family member that comes in at the last minute and just cleans up plates, not that bad. Not that bad, in my opinion. We had an uncle like that without fail. Yeah, everybody's got one. Everybody's got one in their family. Just that one person that rocks up late. Like, the event is at 2 in the afternoon. They'll rock up at 3:30, 4 o'clock when they know dessert. There was one time that my auntie and uncle rocked up. Like, we joked around, they're going to rock up at dessert. As soon as dessert was called, like, we're going to serve up dessert now. Come, do the conga line around the table to grab your desserts. As soon as that was called, they rocked around the corner. It's like, hey, how are we doing? It's like, how did we know that this was what you were going to do? I can pay off my pre-order before 8:30 to get a ticket, and pickups will be available at 9 PM. Oh, so they release in a day early? Oh, that's cheeky. That's cheeky. That is a trifle upsetting. There's a trifle. Doggy bags, take them. Yes. The gift bags. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down to my usual photographing position. Take a quick photos of these, and then I'm going to cut some up and have a try of them, because I want to try what the bread is like. Obviously texture-wise, because this one looks a little bit flat and not as, I don't want to say as worked, but there's a little bit less volume to it. So take this time to grab a snack yourself, get a bit of fresh air if you're able to, grab a drink, stretch your legs, all that kind of stuff, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. I'm going to say no longer than 5 minutes, but this is Twitch. We are used to the word elevated or something. Elevated. Ooh. Elevated. Elevated sounds elegant, to be honest. It has elevated to a certain degree. Alright, 5 minutes, I'll take a photo, and I'll be right back. Alright, happy snaps have been taken, and now it's time to cut open these bad boys and see how they are. Yes, use this one. So what I want to do here is take this section, the bread out. Ooh. And I want this section. Also, I want to take you and put you aside, actually. Ooh. I'm only about one Australian day behind you, so hang on, so I won't let you get by. Well, I'm going to be busy this afternoon with family dinners and stuff, so I'm not going to be able to play it as much as you think I might be. But then again, I am a Pokemon master, so... Okay. Well, I'm glad my reflex for grabbing stuff out of midair didn't kick in. So I usually do that. It's like, oh, I can catch that. I'm good at cricket. No, don't grab fallen knives. Okay, so let's start off by Titch. Zoom in.
Zooming in.
So obviously from the get-go, we can see that there's a little bit more elevation between the two of them. Now, in saying that, can you please zoom in? Is this the one to zoom? No. This one. Nope. That one. There we go. Got there eventually. So this one is definitely a lot more fluffier, but this one... See, I don't know, this one sort of still is similar to what I'm used to. I don't know. Definitely used to it like a denser style Focaccia, but this one's probably the more optimal one. A lot more fluffier, a lot more... Yeah. Still got the same amount of bounce, it's just... elevation. You got me saying elevation more, Baker. Or Bouquet. Is there anything that you would prefer... Hang on. Titch. Zoom out.
Zooming out.
Is there anything that you would prefer me to call you? Do you want to be... do you want me to call you Uke? Baker? Do you want me to call you this weekend? Haven't used that one in a while. But, Yes. Now my thing is going to be, we put the olive oil, a little bit of the olive oil over the top. I want to see what the difference is between just the olive oil on top or with an extra bit on afterwards. So I just ate a full olive, so I can only taste this olive. It's definitely good. I feel like it needs to be with something, like a soup, or do I have soup? I don't, but I can easily get soup. That's the main thing. I reckon that would go pretty good with a soup, or and then obviously with the Okay. So I'm definitely about that, putting the extra olive oil in there. I don't know. It's a little bit of a me thing, to be honest. I'm also a big salt fan. I love salty, savory food. Make sure I'm gonna. Now, why don't you? I don't want to do that kind. I want to do normal. There we go. I don't know why this thing's trying to get a good. Yeah. Regardless. So what do I take away from this, and what can I say about the situation? I'm standing on salt pellets, and it's really annoying. That's one thing I can take away from this. But for the most part, I honestly think that first and foremost, make sure you use the right flour. Don't cheap out like I have been for the longest time. The different grades and different quality of flours will work wonders for your product. Using a cake flour for a bread is not going to give you the same product as using a baker's flour or a strong flour. Obviously, you also found out by today. Because, like I said, I've made these recipes in the past with all-purpose flour, and they sort of bubble up. They don't really prove up correctly. Whereas today, it's all been nice and even. Everything's been nice and good. So that'd be my first and foremost thing. Make sure that you grab the correct flour. I am definitely going to say, because of getting the correct flour, using the recipe to the fullest extent. So letting it prove up, knocking it back, proving it up again, will get you a better product. As opposed to what we're using at the moment. Obviously, we've probably got like improvers and stuff where we work, or where I work, so I say, which probably counteract the whole need to let it rise up and then kick it back down. There is always that. I also could be not caring as much as I have at work because of current situations, which I'm not going to get into. But yeah. So first and foremost, just got back to that explanation. So you like the bread flour one better? Yes. So we use bread flour. We use bread flour for everything today. It's just previous experiences I've had with all-purpose flour with these doughs in the past. So using all-purpose flours for something like the cheese bacon scrolls we've made, not cheese bacon, the cheese and Vegemite scrolls, and just like other breads in general that I've used. They haven't really, they don't really form up correctly and all that kind of stuff. The difference here is the process of what I did. So the olive one, we let rise up. So the recipe calls for you mix the dough, you work it, you put it into an oiled bowl, let it prove up to double the size, knock it down, knead it again for a minute, mold it into the shape you want, then prove it up a little bit again before you bake it. Whereas the ones I didn't have olives on, I would. So I formed it, or I mixed it, let it sit for a little bit, then I formed it without letting it do its first proof, or like its first rise. So there wasn't a knock back and then re-proof. It was just one and done. Hang on. And that was Pearly's Car 3 that pulled me over today. Okay. Wow. Do you have a tail light out? Do you have a cracked windscreen?
Daffy Atratech has requested you hydrate.
That I shall do. Where's my water bottle? Over here. Cheers, Tech. Cheers, check. Cheers, Tech. It tastes amazing. My thing is, I'm actually... Do I still have it? Where is it? Where did I put it? Oh, where? Oh, where? Did I put the... I didn't throw it in the sink, did I? I thought it... Oh, there it is. Yes, my thing is, I'm definitely all for that extra garlic olive oil. Extra, baby. Make sure you dab it on. Bit of my mate olive oil, which we found out today, whose name is Aristos, the surprise chef. Oh. I'm gonna give that man a big old smooch on the cheek when I see him next. that name and that chef has been eluding my mind for the good part of 10 months. It's like, who is this man, and why do I remember his catchphrase? Now I know. They don't look like out-of-state plates. Okay. Oh, it's more like if it's like a little bit skew or... But anyway, so that's pretty much my thought process. I'm happy with either. They still are like nice, light and fluffy. It's just obviously this one here. Not only that, this one might have had a little bit more proving time because we did get that. Did we get it? No. Well, obviously it did. It had more proving time for the beginning. This one also did feel like it was a little bit more wet when we first mixed it up. Regardless, like they are super amazing. I love the taste of these. I'm a big garlic fiend, and I also do love mixing some olives from time to time. I need to accompany this with a soup of some kind. I'm going to sauce out a soup. I'm going to get them with a soup. But in the meantime, what I need to do, they both look super tasty. Yeah, I would say that they're pretty much almost identical, except I know that there's some family members who probably don't like olives that much. So if I'm going to palm this off to mum and dad, probably best to get some without some olives, just to cater to those picky eaters. I think I'd be more into the olive one. Love me some olives. Yes. Oh, what's another sneaky thing? Pickles. I'm not saying we put pickles on here, but pickles are one thing I've definitely gotten into recently, and it's because I found out that pickles don't taste like Hungry Jack's pickles. Hungry Jack's pickles are terrible. Don't get them. Pixing to see what's happening in here today, and okay, ask a few questions. You can ask the questions, but whether or not I'll be answering them truthfully or wholeheartedly, you can ask the questions. Pretty much, yeah. You mean you like lacto-fermented pickles? Whatever the pickles you put on gourmet burgers are, those are the ones I like. The ones from Hungry Jack's or Burger King are horrid, and they taint the burger that they are on. They are a bad kind of vinegar. I don't know what the deal is with the Hungry Jack's or Burger King pickles, but they are poorly made. Poorly produced, poorly made, and they should not be on those burgers. Get some proper pickles, okay? I'm looking to start a cooking show, but not sure what I would need in the kitchen. And I have a small kitchen, so I don't have a lot of space to play with. I have a full setup in another room, so I'm not new to Twitch. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of a silly answer to begin with that one. Not saying it was a silly question, but I'm just going to be an idiot myself. First of all, you're going to need an oven and a stove, because you can't do cooking without an oven and a stove. That aside, you're going to need yourself, depending on how elaborate you want to do, start off with one camera, some form of microphone setup, whether it be wired. There's a few streamers out there who use wired setups for microphones. I would suggest wireless headphones. If you've already got wireless headphones for your gaming setup, use them. Sometimes they have a microphone in them. That would be the best thing to start off with, because if you want people to hear what you're talking about without having a quieting from when you leave the microphone, wireless is definitely a good setup. I would just say start with the basics. Whenever it comes to streaming in general, whether it's gaming, whether it's food and drink, whether it's just chatting, stuff like that, always start with the basics. Don't dive headfirst into it straight away. Start small and then work your way up. Because this channel here started off, so a little bit of fun fact and a little bit of lore behind TC and Titanium Chef channel. I solely started with gameplay. So I was playing Pokemon Go So I was doing Pokemon Go battles and tournaments and stuff like that. Then I started dabbling into food and drink because of something I was passionate about. And I started this channel, food and drink wise, with the current monitor I have at the moment. I would move my PC, which I still do at this moment, so I moved my PC from the second room to the kitchen, and I had a webcam, which I don't use anymore, sitting on top of the monitor, which was sitting on top of a gravy tin. So I had no extra fancy lights, I had no tripods, no nothing. I just had a camera sitting on a gravy tin, sitting on a monitor, and that gave me the height I need. And I just stuck that out until I was comfortable enough to start upgrading equipment and parts and buying new things. For me, I would personally suggest like first upgrades would be like microphone wirelessness in a sense. It just creates a lot of freedom. Second off would probably be like lighting. Make sure you look good. Not to say that you look bad, but I would say to look better than what you are. And then if you're more comfortable and you are happier with what you're doing, then start going into like more cameras and fancy setups and stuff. Like that would be my suggestion. Start off small and then work your way up. What you're going to cook, on the other hand, cook what you like to cook to begin. If you want to cook stuff from video games and anime and TV shows and movies like I do, then start with that. Don't be afraid to fail. Because if you fail on stream, it's just a learning experience and good times can be made from it. And it also shows the viewers as well that you are also human. And you are prone to mistakes, just like them. So, first you need a kitchen. Thanks, Talus. That's exactly what I was trying to get at. First you need a kitchen. Lacto-fermented is actually fermented pickles. The other pickles are brined and not fermented most of the time, my knowledge anyway. I think I'm more of a brined person then. I think I'm more of a brined, which means that the Burger King ones are probably fermented. Not 100% sure. It's more so like I've only recently just started to have decent pickles in my life, and not just ones from fast food restaurants. Like it's like pickles, you throw them on the window because it's funny. But I've started to have like more gourmet style pickles. Like, hey, yo, this is actually fire. Cursed Kitchen has a semi-small kitchen that may help to look. Yes. So I can do this. Oh, right, my keyboard's good there. We get to see a clip of him too! He's probably streaming at the moment, to be honest. So definitely go check out Nish. Oh yes, he's pulling the Bravo. I love it. How did I miss this? How did I miss that one? Oh my boy. Adam, of course, go for it. I'm more than happy to try and answer questions. Why don't I put the keyboard away? We're finishing it up at the moment, so we're going to go find a raid target. If anything, we'd probably just go over to Nish. So if you want to see somebody with a semi-small cooking setup, who's made work pretty damn good in my opinion, we can always jump by and see what Nish is doing if he's online at the moment. With my main setup, I build Lego and play a few games, and I just got a Thermomix TM6, so looking at starting something new. Okay. I could see that, like maybe dabbling in some like soup mixing and stuff like that. Okay. Well, that would be my suggestion. Like, if you've already got like a small setup, for gaming and obviously arts and crafts and what you're doing, or like Lego building, just transfer that into the kitchen, and see if it's something you want to do. Because you don't like it. Obviously, I was having a chat with Nishan and a few people, somebody else about this as well. You don't want to go too hard and too fast into this genre to find out that you're not happy and not pleased with what you're doing, in a sense. Like, you might have fun, building Legos and playing games and stuff, but you might not have that much fun standing up for 3 hours at a time cooking food, or making a big mess in your kitchen you're gonna have to clean up later. Like, it's something that you need to try first with the current setup you've got. Like, whatever you got, try and make that work, and then see how it goes from there. Do you think I should wear gloves or work in a cooking room? Depends on what you're doing. So if you're doing food preparation, so if you're taking ingredients from, let's say you're making sandwiches. So if you're taking ingredients from the sandwich bins and you're putting, tomatoes, ham, and cheese and all that kind of stuff, I would say yes. Get yourself some gloves and do that. If you are washing dishes, I would say yes, because it's going to help protect your skin from dermatitis. If you're doing baking, on the other hand, that I would say no, because the dough will stick to your hands when you're working it and using it, and it's going to be very hard to keep the dough off the gloves and keep the gloves on your hands while you're working with dough. If you're doing cooking, like cooking in general, like you're in the kitchen, you're doing a bit of flambeing over the stove and stuff like that, that's a grey area. I haven't done cooking like that in a long time, so I'd probably say no still. Obviously, if you have cuts and sores on your hands, yes, by all means. But yeah, for like general food prep, just some thin vinyl gloves will do just fine. For washing, get some thicker grade ones, because dermatitis is bad. Okay, I get it from time to time. I actually have it at the moment. I really don't want to show on camera today, but I get it a little bit on my hand. I've got a little bit of it at the moment, and the problem is the more that you wash your hands, the worse it gets, and it hurts, and it's really bad. So I always buy games I don't know anything about. It's alright. Same with anime, but it's different. I like making a mess in the chicken. But I don't really know how. Well, first off, you let the chicken in the house. See? Of course the chicken's gonna make mess. He doesn't know how to be decent inside. He's more of an outside creature. You keep the chicken outside. Yes, EB World, I know Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are out. I'm going to go get them right now. I do dishwasher. I would say yes. If you're doing the dishwashing, I would 100% get yourself... I actually have some gloves on me, to be honest. Gloves like this. Are they big fatty fats? It's probably going to be a bit hard to get off. But 100%, I would say get gloves, because it's going to protect your skin. Last thing you want to have is like dry, sawn skin, because it doesn't feel nice. And like I said, the more that you wash and the more that unless you're using soap that's graded for like skin care in a sense, kitchen grade soaps and stuff are going to be very abrasive on your skin. So 100% I would wear gloves. I have 3 screens connected to one PC. This setup won't fit in my kitchen. So, okay. Would have an iPhone connected to my main setup. Hang on. Would having an iPhone connected to my main setup work? Using iPad Pro work at all? iPad will be able to see chat. Ooh. So, if you have a wireless keyboard, or see, that's the thing. So if you're so like I said, Titch, zoom in.
Zooming in.
Okay, so let me show you what I've got going at the moment. So this is you guys over here. Sure, my kitchen might be a little bit bigger than yours, but so I've got, could you please? There we go. So you're not all blurry, so you can see what's going on. So I've got my main setup, this is not one of my screens I use, but this is a screen I use. I've got my PC in the back there, I've got the camera over here, lights at the back there. This is a more advanced setup, okay? This is a more advanced setup. My thing would be, I know you have 3 monitors. If you can get one of those monitors out into your kitchen area, by all means, because you want to be able to see if you're, you guys, I'm right down the bottom here. So I'm checking this constantly to make sure that everything's running okay. And obviously you've got chat there as well, but Titch, zoom out.
Zooming out.
So there's that to take into account for too. Like, you might be able to take cameras and chat into the kitchen and be able to set it up, but let's say your phone dies. You're not going to know until somebody in chat turns around and says, "Oh, your phone is dead." Then you're going to have to leave and go back to your setup to go set that, to go fix it back up. And then not only that, if you don't have a wireless keyboard and mouse, or even if you have a wireless keyboard and mouse, you're not going to be able to, like if you want to raid to somebody, or you want to change the song, or you want to fix up something from the computer, you're going to have to take yourself out of the kitchen and go into there. For me personally, that takes me away from the flow. So if I do it all the time. Like, let's not be honest. Let's be honest. Not be honest. I will be honest. Like, I will leave the kitchen from time to time to grab some tea towels I forgot, or grab the album missile left in the study. But that's like a rare occasion. But if you're constantly having to leave the kitchen, it's going to take away from the flow of what you're doing. So if you're cooking on the stove here, and I have it a lot of the time though. I'll be on the stove and I've got my back to everybody and I don't like it. So that's why I have multiple cameras, whatever. But yeah, if you're constantly having to leave to go, all right, this song is not that good, or the track is finished, I'm going to go change the song, you have to leave. It sort of ruins the flow. So if you're able to if you're able to take your rig into the kitchen bare bones to start with, like I said, just start with. Because once you get a handle for it and you think, okay, this is really nice and really cool, then you can start upgrading to like a secondary PC that's solely for the kitchen, or maybe a smaller monitor that'll fit into the kitchen, and just get yourself more attuned to the concept. I could do the same thing too. I could grab a second computer to stream just in the kitchen, but I've gotten proficient in just moving the PC at the moment, so that's why I do my setup. I don't know if this is sort of I don't know if this is helping or not. It feels like I'm just ranting about stuff, but have a gallery style kitchen. Gallery. That's a small island in the center, yeah? So I'm trying to remember the kitchen style. So the gallery is like, you got an island in the center and you sort of walk around, I'm pretty sure. I'm getting some gloves right now. When I got back into baking over the past year, I destroyed my hands with constant washing and doing the bassinage, or the bandaging of cracked hands for the first time was the last time it happened. Lotion and gloves save your hands. Exactly, yeah. So Adam, 100%, if you're washing, like if you're doing all the dishes and washing, gloves. The best thing that's going to be for you. Doesn't matter, like, let's take this into account. They don't have to be, they just need to be like thick enough to be able to deal with stuff. Thicker the better, because if you do drop glass in the sink, thicker means it's not going to cut your hand. So, and that's the other thing too. If you're doing dishes, make sure you do have gloves on, because it's actually going to protect you if you have sharps and nasties in there. Last thing you want to do is just put your bare hands into a sink. Somebody's put a knife in there that nobody's told you about, and you got a nice big cut on your fingernail. I have 4 webcams that I have on my main setup. So if you've got the cabling to do so, you could set up a pretty neat thing. You could set up, with what you've got at the moment, you could actually set up a pretty neat thing to begin with. My suggestion is, with what you have, make sure that you have some way to check out your stream at the moment. Whether it is, like, even if you, okay, here's another alternative too. If you have an HDMI cable long enough, then have a single monitor in your kitchen with the HDMI cable run into that study. Just as long as you've got something to be able to check that everything's okay and you're not losing frames and you're not, streaming to like muted or that kind of stuff, that would be my suggestion. If you can have some form of being able to type and do stuff, see what you're doing, and a way for people to see what you're doing, that should be plenty of setup at the moment. I do not have it on the don't have it on the job. If you're able to pull it up to your like manager or your boss, probably something that they should be supplying. But they're cheap. I don't want to say, but they're cheap enough. You just buy them yourself. It should be something that your job is supplying. Like if your job is washing dishes, they should be supplying you with the gloves. But they are relatively cheap. So gallery style kitchen is like 2 long benches and a walkway in the middle. Right, so it's sort of similar to what I have, except without this little alcove here. Gotcha. yeah, you could work something fun there. I've seen some people with Gallery Skull Kitchens do streams on here. You can get it to work. I reckon you could. Just try it. It's pretty much the best thing. So it sounds like you have everything to start up a decent cooking stream. Sounds like you got everything to start up the cooking stream. It's just maybe pick a weekend. Pick one weekend and mock it up. Don't have to stream right away. Like I said, maybe take your PC out into an area that you can get it to. Have a monitor somewhere. Set some cameras up, and just set up a scene in OBS and see what it looks like, and go, yeah, okay, this works pretty well. This works pretty well. And then from there, maybe it is Game Chops Jam. And then maybe after that, like implements, zoom ins for your cameras or scene changes where it changes camera positions and stuff. So I have a Rode wireless mic that I use, and it has 2 transmitters, so 2 people could be on the mic. So, okay, I have a question for you now before we head off for the raid. Using that Rode, I've seen that microphone. I've been wanting to pick that up because I want to have some people on my stream. Do you get feedback from the second microphone while 2 people talking at the same time? So if I have my microphone here and I've got my buddy over here, and I'm talking loud enough so his microphone can pick me up, my microphone's picking me up, am I going to get an echo from his microphone, or is it seamless? Is what I'm trying to get at. And while we're waiting for that response, let's have a look and see who's online at the moment, because we are going to drop by. I'm just going to drop by just one of our homies at the moment. I'd love to go check out somebody new, but I do want to just like drop and run, to be honest. Okay, so who do we got on at the moment? I thought Nish was online. I thought Nish was coming back at the moment. So, alright, so at the moment, who we've got at the moment we can drop by and say hello to? Oh, excuse me. We could go say hi to Belle. Belle rated us yesterday? No, 2 days ago. The Bellaraxia, adorable robot VTuber, playing Arknights at the moment, so if you want to see some sick Arknights action, you can go say hi to them. We could drop back to Color Brews, who is currently drawing cute girl icon. So she's drawing a cute girl icon, so if you want to see some art, we can go see there. We could drop by Sarah Lou as well. Sarah Lou is playing The Witcher 3. Sweet Anne's. Sweet Anne's is cookie decorating again. It's been a while since we've dropped by Sweet Anne's. Soma is playing Dishonored. We can go by say hi to Soma. Sega Master is playing Dark Souls. Unless we want to go see if there's anybody new in food and drink, we could say hi to real quick. But I was thinking we'd drop by somebody that we know, so I can sort of say, hey, can't stick around for too long because I gotta go pick up Pokemon and do some cleaning, do some cake decorating. So you might go live. No, not if you don't have the mic gain too high. Okay, something to look into. I know someone that has the 2 mics who wanted me to stream and I wanted to join the podcast. Hey, Tales on a podcast, I could see that. So I'm gonna say Belle, Color Brews, Sarah. So pretty much what is it at the moment? So we've got Arknights, we've got Art, The Witcher, Dishonored, or Food and Drink, or Dark Souls. What's everybody's jam? What's everybody thinking we do? There's a good and drink streamer called Titanium Chef on. Oh, no, see, now the thing is, I've heard some mixed reviews about that bloke. I've heard he's a bit of a git. He does some silly JoJo poses every now and again. He plays Pokemon as well. Like, ew, like Pokemon's for babies. I'm more of a Call of Duty shooter man myself. I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're gonna rate that guy. I'm just not really sold on his content, to be honest. I'm gonna go buy my game. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. So that's why. You know what? It's going to be a complete shift in the dynamic. When I say dynamic, of what sort of like what we're doing here, like we're more family friendly here, and food and drink as well. Let's drop you over to a DGen. Let's go see hi to Soma. I don't think we've actually rated Soma before. Apparently, there's an announcement on Saturday. Ooh. So yeah, all right. So that's my plan. We're gonna go drop a raid over to Semantics. Oh, and I don't want to edit the stream. I want to raid a channel. There we go. Okay. Yeah, she's playing Dishonored at the moment. So yeah. Hang on, but we get to laugh at him. I mean, with him. Okay, you got me sold on that. Laughing at somebody for being a git and doing JoJo. Shut up. So with that being said, I'd like to say thank you so very much to everybody who came by to check out what I was doing today. Today was a very chill. Look, it was a very chill, relaxed stream, and actually picked up my moods a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit down when I started this morning. Other reasons, not because of the stream, it's just other reasons. I've just been a little bit lethargic over the last couple of days. But this has really picked up my mood. It's really picked up my mood at the moment. So thank you all for being here and being a part of the stream. As for all the info, I got on food and drink for thought. Not a problem. As I said, I'm more than happy to answer as many questions as you guys throw to me. It just really depends on the question that you ask. Like, if you ask a really weird question, I'm probably just going to ignore you. But for the most part, everybody's asked a pretty decent question, so I'm more than happy to help. Thanks for stream, Chef. Have a great Pokemon-filled Arvo. Great weekend. It's going to be a Pokemon-filled Arvo. Will Titanium be able to complete the Nuzlocke? I think that's supposed to say find out next time. I think unless it. Did you miss a few? Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, find out next time on Titanium Chef Z. But yes, thank you for being here and spend some time with me this afternoon, all that kind of stuff. Thank you to everybody who joined the Shark Tank. I hope you enjoy your stay here, and I hope that I'm entertaining enough for you guys. That was very bad to say. And Waybread, a big old shout out to Waybread. If you aren't following Waybread at the moment, I would end the stream now. But it was still recording. But if you're not following Waybread already, I don't think I'm following Waybread at the moment. I am following Waybread at the moment. Absolute delightful food and drink stream. I've been there once before. I have been at Waybread stream once before. I think I've dropped by from somebody else's raid. They're an absolute delight. So go check out Waybread. And yeah, thanks for the redeems and all that kind of stuff. With that being said, let me fire up this raid real quick. Nope, I want that one. Oop, fire up the raid. So yeah, with that being said, take care of yourselves out there, stay safe, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Alrighty, have a good Arvo, play lots of Pokemon, I'll catch you later. See yous.